everyone. Natural 20. That means you are both entertained and enthusiastic about what is to come. What is to transpire tonight in the glorious world of Khador on the stream Charisma Saves, hosted by me, Jake, the lovable scamp, and also Hugo, who wears glasses because of colorblindness, Sarah, who wears glasses because of nearsightedness, Alex, who wears glasses because he is a hipster. There is no prescription in there whatsoever, and then Randy, who does not wear glasses because who would want to look out at the vast hellscape that is Wisconsin? Thank you all for joining us this evening. I hope you had a happy Easter. I don't partake myself, but if you do, I hope waking up at 5 a.m. was worth it.
It was the weekend of 420 and Easter, so...
Hey, maybe it was extra
and
special.
And Hitler's birthday.
Well, hey! That's how it... Okay, anyway. So,
420 blazing.
I get it.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same joke every year.
Alright.
So...
Just making sure we're all on the same page.
Do we have any announcements this week? I don't think we have anything specific that changed.
Nope.
But I will say that Marzi, our wonderful Marzi Pandorica, who does commissions for me from time to time, did finish my horrible monstrosities that I've been crafting for a long time. So those are available whenever you decide that you want to go fight those things, wherever they come from.
Can I vote that we all retire and just let the world end and hope it, like kind of like global warming, just hope it doesn't happen till after we die?
Well, don't hope. You lobby hard so that you make a lot of money right before the world dies.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Other than that,
we have shirts.
We have shirts in the Charisma Save shop, so it's bit.ly/charisma shop. You can also donate to the stream by going to streamlabs.com/actualjake. You can subscribe to the channel and shit like that to make sure. Also, if you're a fan of the show, tell your friends, because we've been hearing a lot of people saying, well, I have because I run the account. A lot of people have been saying that you had no interest in D&D, you didn't know the rules, you don't really care for nerdy stuff like this in general, but you have a lot of fun watching the show. So tell your friends, because I guarantee they would agree with you. Other than that...
No, we suck.
We suck. We have nothing else. That's it. End of stream. Thanks for coming. I don't know. Are there anything other things that you guys wanted to discuss?
Nope.
I'm not going to pit my symbiote warlock class.
I think that almost counts.
You should do that.
I should do that?
Yeah,
I'll do it another time.
Gonna try to have the Avelios shirt out soonish, probably this week sometime.
Had
have
some
that
commissions to catch up on. So
yeah.
Been doing that.
Fuck Avelios.
Fuck Avelios.
It's just a timed release. That's all.
It's a timed release, right? We get the normie stuff out first, and then for those elite Charisma Saves fans, we have the Avelios merch.
Yeah.
That happens later. How's this song? So, where we last left off, you had responded to a request, not only by people that you trust within the city, but people that you don't even know within the city. There had been talk of disappearances around town very recently as people try to kind of rebuild certain parts of Gygax in an effort to recolonize and hopefully, with the help of the Aarakocrans and you guys in general, maybe make a really good stand against the dragons to the south and possibly to the elves. You don't know how that's going to go. You don't know how your relationship is with them. And in answering this call, you head down to the sewers. In the sewers, after swimming in some shit, you find horrible tentacle-faced monstrosities ready to rip your respective faces off. And it doesn't go so well the first time. You end up having to retreat after first trying to pry off this particular black disc from the wall and then cutting it away from the wall in what seems to have been perceived as a violent act on whatever that thing was, and responded in kind. After that, you left, sealed the door behind you through various magics and strength, and regrouped, spent a night, got other people to guard different parts of the sewer system, 5 exits in total. You were going to go to a secondary location that's not too far from where you had first entered, and set up some of your friends, some of the local militia, some of the Praetorian Guard, to, just in case, watch the exits and beat back what probably could murder most people in the city if, in fact, they failed. So you head down to what we dubbed Sewer Number 2. They don't really have names. These were just the numbers we gave for ease of access. And you head down, and it's a little bit different, but very similar in scope and design. And then you see and notice a tube in the ceiling that seems to be burrowed. You decide to follow that tube, now with the help of your friend Sig, who was joining you instead of Jordan this time. And nothing super epic happened right at that moment as you crawled on your hands and feet. Ended up falling directly down into where the sewer system seems to terminate, in the center of this domed area where several different waterfalls of refuse fall into a pit of gelatinous cubes that then eat the waste, since there's nowhere else for it to go. In this area you find several things, mostly those horrible monstrosities, a particularly adept magic user made of worms, and another of those devices. In all of his kingly wisdom, Avelios decides to take a violent act against it yet again, not destroying it, but definitely sending them into a frenzy. After a little bit of this, Sig gets some time with it in the middle of the battle in front, figures out roughly what the function is, and decides that everyone should get near, as he plans to teleport everyone away. You do teleport away with this artifact, and you end up in Sig's workshop / barn, where Sig promptly rushes through this large curtain of death, throws the artifact into a whirling mass of portals like a stargate, severing the connection, and you think solving the problem for now. So, after that, you went some separate ways, and we can pick up with whoever you'd like. It is nighttime. That night, you are definitely still feeling the effects of the fight you just had moments ago. But I think you went to Katie's house. You went to see where Jordan was. You went to see where Kazdan was. And Egnir went to the Hartnell that is still locked.
Let's pick up with someone, not me, because I have to fix this.
P?
I'm being blinded.
Blinded by the light.
Is it a douchant?
No.
What is it?
Deuce.
Wrapped up like a deuce. It's a car. It's a kind of car.
Wrapped up like a douchant.
I just.
Awful.
I don't think that cardboard
What are you
just kind
doing?
of sit
Oh.
there.
This is like in our eyes.
Wow. Holy shit, did she do that?
She out-engineered the fuck out of you.
Oh, kind of fun.
That was a big fuck you. That's not gonna work. It fucking just
I need something to hold.
tape.
You
Need something.
you hold it.
Yeah. We don't.
Shut the fuck up.
Alenia's really far away the whole episode, but like
Yeah, I was
within
gonna say,
earshot.
probably do that. That's not gonna blind you for long.
You can-
Sunset lasts not
The
for
ceiling
long.
tile should hold it if you angle
You still
it right.
doing this? Alright, that's good. If that
Oh.
falls, that's where it's gonna be. Okay, and then just deal with it
I
until
like how,
sunset,
like,
which is in like 20 minutes.
She put that up there, and there's still a crack that I get the full sun in my face.
So,
Well, you know what? Fuck you.
we'll address
It's more
this.
for the
We'll-
camera than
It doesn't
anything.
bother
So
me.
now that we are in the, was this the vernal equinox? I don't know, where we're heading into summertime.
It's
Apparently
setting
the
over here
sunset
now.
points into your eyes, whereas it hadn't during wintertime. So we'll adjust.
Yeah.
We'll adjust this after. But anyway, so any one of you can pick up. I assume Agnier has the least to do since you're just standing outside the Arsenal. But
No, I have a thing to do now.
you do have a thing to do now. You go
Yeah,
for
I
it.
thought it was something I want to do.
Do it. Absolutely. Agnir's up first.
Okay. I'm gonna head back to the first sewer entrance where the Myconids were.
Okay, that one was blocked off by several feet, I guess, of magical stone that ended up becoming permanent.
But the first group of Myconids we met were on the closer side of that stone, correct?
They were right at the
I
entrance.
thought you had sealed the entrance, but I could be wrong. Let me look at the map real quick.
I thought we sealed right after the
I
stairway.
thought it was between the first and second groups.
I
I
could be wrong.
thought so too.
Yeah.
That's probably fun. I just want to look at the map, see who you have access to.
At first I had thought we blocked like the stairwell, so I thought the rest of the Myconids were okay, but apparently we didn't do that.
No. Where did I put that? Seriously? This is the saddest song ever written.
It's like Minecraft music.
It is.
We're gonna kill some creepers, guys.
It's a little loud.
Loud.
At least the chords are.
Oh, I see. I don't know where that map is. Why don't I know where that map is? Maybe I lost it. Anyway, I remember what the first room looks like, which is what you're talking about. So yes, the first room was the ship pond with the bridge over it, and then to the left as you walk in, there was the room with the Myconids. Then there was another room with Myconids. And then to the right was the small passageway that you blocked off. And then, but to get inside, there was the portcullis that you had dropped down. So it's up to you how you want to do that.
There are spaces in that, right?
Yep, it's a portcullis, so it's think like prison bar distance from one another, and they're usually thick bands of steel or iron about like this that run down, and they have many rivets in them. You could stick an arm through, but you couldn't stick much else through, except I assume you have magics that can help you do this.
Yeah, I'll just gaseous form
That's what I assume.
to get through it, and then I'll
Alright.
drop it.
You do so. You still have the slot for that?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
it's only third level.
sure. So you do so as you into a puff of gray-green mist. You easily move inside. Anything else? You just want to. That's where you're at.
The music is loud. I'm gonna keep moving
Music is
forward
really
until
loud
I.
for you?
Yeah.
I assume the
Maybe the way the iPad picks up sound.
It might be you know what? It might be the tone of it.
Could be.
Because it runs on this. And
Oh, like the
and I'm
vibration
yeah.
of it.
Let me try this. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's just the tone moving through that bar for you.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep advancing towards those Myconids.
Yep. You do so, and they seem to be in there motionless, looking like normal fungi.
Oh my god.
Someone's screeching.
Once I get close enough, I'm gonna cast Speak with Plants and slowly approach them.
Okay. And that's just range of self? Or
Yeah.
is that cast on the plants itself?
It's a range of self, and it affects a 30-foot radius around me.
Okay. Yeah. So, you cast Speak with Plants, and you move forward, and there's not a lot of plant life besides the fungus that seems to be in the corners, in this moistened sort of wasty cavern. You do get a little algae sitting inside the at the bottom of this sort of recess, sitting on the top layer of that poo pond. That is somewhat plant-like, that you could just talk to if you want, and then the Myconids do indeed ping able to talk to. And as you walk forward, while they are still, you see a couple of the larger ones shift into a more defensive position.
I'm just gonna hold my hands up very non-threateningly.
Okay.
Approach slowly.
All right, go ahead and roll me just a persuasion check. But with advantage, since you got to speak with plants, and I know you're bad at it, so.
Real good at those.
It's not very high.
Well, I rolled a 5.
With advantage?
I rolled a 6 and a 7, and I have -2.
Oof.
Okay, so you walk forward.
That's a bad
and you
feel.
put your hands up, and you mean to do so without threatening, and you go like this, and then it looks like you're about to cast a spell. So I need you to roll a Constitution save as several spore clouds erupt.
Okay, well that's better. It's a 19.
Okay, you can tell you're about to be paralyzed again, and sent into probably another catatonic state by yourself, like last time. But you managed to press it off, and you managed to keep your hands out more calmly now, and you may speak.
I do not mean you any harm. My name is Egnir from before.
You see the largest one in the group walk forward, and he's got this what looks like, when he was back into the corner and motionless, looked like a very large stalked mushroom that had kind of grown like one of those large plates at the top, and then you see him move and it sort of flexes out, and there's like the semblance of a face. It's very like, it's like more like ganglia right here, where they seem to kind of filter things that they eat, and they're telepathic in nature when they talk, and that goes through a spore cloud, and just naturally, even though you are speaking with them, they don't have a way to respond unless they. So you see this light, less noxious looking spore clouds start to expand out, and knowing what this is, you breathe it in just normally. It doesn't really, it kind of just tickles the nose. It doesn't really do much else to you, except you now have a psychic link with every Myconid within 120 feet, and it leans forward, and it's about as tall as you when it actually stands up. It stands up, and it's got like club-like hands that sort of separate, almost like Danny DeVito the penguin. Not as gross though. These are made of like a mushroom-like substance. It's not slimy and gross. He's not trying to molest a lady in a catsuit. And
I gotta rewatch Batman Returns.
I know, right? And then he walks forward, and he looks at you, and he's got these pretty black eyes. They're more like sensory organs than anything. They definitely don't adjust to light sources and stuff. But at the back of them, there's like a little spark of like a yellow. Can't really. That almost looks like, from a certain angle, it looks like pupils, but the way it refracts off the front of the lens, it sort of doesn't follow correctly. It's very interesting. And for a second, you kind of stare into it, even though you have dark vision. You save us?
I believe so. We got to the center of the sewers, I believe, and we were able to get rid of most, if not all, of the creatures, I hope. I cannot be certain, but I think they are gone.
You see him look around, and several small Myconids stand up, and then some medium-sized Myconids, most of which not as tall, and then a couple just about as tall. It seems like there's several families huddled in here. And you see many of them stand and start to shuffle forward towards you with their hands outstretched. Do you let them touch you?
Sure. Yeah.
They begin to just... some of them don't even come up to your knees. They begin to just touch your legs. And then some of them begin to touch your arms. And it's kind of weird, since you also kind of give off this fungal vibe. Obviously due to your armor. And just kind of your nature in general. They seem to be examining you. And then one of the... go ahead and roll perception check.
12?
12. Your knowledge of mushrooms, they're mostly genderless. They don't necessarily sexually reproduce. And their sex organs swap back and forth. But this one seems to be a more brightly colored, there's lots of blues and yellows, kind of fungus, and it seems to be touching where your ribs have been basically cracked, where you were bent over that bridge. They start to grab and touch and try to, and you feel this hard crack, and at first your reflex is to punch it in the face and kill all of them. But a split second goes by, and you realize it just used some very soft magical power to reset what are definitely some cracked and fractured ribs. You regain 16 hit points.
Cool.
And the large one. Thank you. Many die.
There were some further in. I don't think we were able to save them all.
He looks around and they all nod, sort of like they already knew. We lost the link hours ago.
Can you tell if there are still some in there that we can retrieve?
The big one shakes its head. Not here. More throughout, but not here. It seems they've sort of made different communities based on which pipeline they're in. And this is the last of this one.
I'm sorry that we could not help all of you.
You did. And then he reaches out his hand and sort of grabs some... you see these glowing green, thin mushrooms with small little parasol tops. Picks them off, and he hands you 5 of them. in case trouble.
What are these?
Go ahead and roll a nature check on him. As he tries to describe, he basically just says, help if need.
21.
You kind of look over them, and they definitely give off a faint magical essence to them. They seem to have, like a really high concentration of life energy in them. And you kind of smell it. You don't know quite how potent they are, but they have a revitalization.
Wow, for once you can say a word that he can't.
I know words. I know
It's
the
a miracle.
I know the best words. The best words.
The best.
That gets better every time you do
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, it has some rejuvenative powers. You don't quite know the extent, but you have 5 of them.
Okay. I am grateful for these. Very fascinated by your people. I would like to learn more from you, if you would allow that.
They look around at each other and they all nod. What would you like to learn?
Everything. How you live down here. How you communicate.
Sure.
Your techniques for self-defense are very potent.
Okay. So basically, you're seeking training from this Myconid colony on certain aspects of their life. Let me see. It would take for something easy to do. It would take roughly 3 days to learn, like a non-magical thing, and up to a week to learn a magical thing, and then that would be based on checks that you would make, either via nature, arcana, or intelligence. Otherwise,
Okay.
So, if you want to make a list real quick, and then you can choose during downtime.
Sure.
So, the first thing that they have are called distress spores. When a Myconid takes damage, all other Myconids within 240 feet of it can sense its pain. So you could learn how to cast distress spores. Basically, it would be a touch spell, probably a first level spell with concentration. So say if someone were to sneak forward within 240 feet, whether you could communicate with them or otherwise, you would know if they experience pain and to what degree. So you could learn that. There are rapport spores, which are what you're using now to communicate. This would probably be, since it works on, it can go around corners. For you, it could only be 30 feet. It can only affect creatures with an intelligence of 2 or higher that aren't undead constructs or elementals. Affected creatures can communicate telepathically with one another while they are within the 30 feet, and the effect lasts for an hour. I'd say that's probably a second level spell.
You're so good for sneaking around.
Yeah.
Is that concentration as well?
Yeah. Pretty much all of these are concentration. They have pacifying spores. It's a single attack. The target must succeed a Constitution saving throw equal to your spellcasting modifier, or be stunned for 1 minute, and it repeats the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. I would say because stunned is incapacitated, that would probably also be a 2nd level spell, and it wouldn't work on things that can't be poisoned. And it's only it's a 5-foot range, and it's 1 creature, and concentration, or not concentration. Sorry. There's also animating spores, which you kind of already do. You can rise a corpse with them. But these, the corpse rises as a spore servant, which has a different stat block that I can give you. And those last for a little bit longer than your zombies, I believe. 1d4 plus 1 weeks.
Oh, that's a lot longer.
Or until destroyed. So that would be a... because weeks... it does take a little bit longer. It takes 24 hours for it to rise, so that'll lower the level a little bit. But because it's weeks, I say it's a 6th level spell. It does get new stats. So, for instance, it retains its AC, hit points, hit dice, strength, dexterity, constitution, vulnerabilities, resistances, and immunities.
Wow.
But it loses its original saving throws, skill bonuses, special senses, and special traits. It loses anything that isn't... any action that isn't a multi-attack. Or if it's a weapon attack that doesn't deal just bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. So it can't cast magic still. It can't do its magical ability still because it's a corpse. If it has an action or a melee weapon attack that deals some other type of damage, it loses the ability to deal damage of that type unless the damage comes from a piece of equipment such as a magic item. It becomes a plant. The speed reduces by 10 feet. I can give you all these other things, but these are just interesting to say out loud.
Sure.
Its intelligence becomes 2, wisdom 6, and charisma 1. It has a blind sight of 30 feet. It can't be blinded, charmed, frightened, or paralyzed. It loses all languages except being able to communicate with you. And if it has no other means of attack, it can do a punch attack. And that's based on its size. A medium does 1d4, a large does 2d4, huge does 3d4, etc. Plus its strength modifier. That'd be a 6th level spell. It takes 24 hours. So it's a very involved thing, but it could be fun. There's hallucination spores, which are something that you experienced. The Myconid ejects spores at one creature can see within 5 feet of it. So it's a 5-foot spell. The target must succeed a Constitution save or be poisoned for 1 minute. The poisoned target is incapacitated while it hallucinates. The target can repeat a saving throw at the end of each of its turns and in the effect. But you got hit with 7 of them, so I didn't give you the Averturn. But yeah, so because it incapacitates and it hallucinates and is poisoned, but 5 feet, I'd say 4th level spell.
Okay. Cool.
I think that's it. So yeah, if you keep a list of those during downtime, you can try to talk to Myconids. And so you also learn during this time. So the small ones are called sprouts. The middle-sized ones are called just adults, and the large ones are called sovereigns. Is there anything else you wanted to know about them while you're down here?
Nothing immediately. No, I'll just spend some time down here familiarizing myself with them.
look really cool. Hugo hasn't looked, so I'm holding it up.
Oh, sorry. I was
They're just
writing
cool.
down. Yeah, they are cool.
Yeah.
What did you say the ones above adults were called?
Sovereign.
Sovereigns. Okay. Not that you would know, but yeah.
It's for my, like, own notes, not the professor's knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just hang out here for a few hours and familiarize myself with them.
So what was the lowest level thing? The rapport?
Distress spores.
Distress spores. If you'd like to, during these several hours, go ahead and roll a spell cast, just roll a spell attack. You're not actually attacking, but it just represents your ability to...
23.
23, okay. So, you do learn how to use distress spores once per day at the slot level.
Okay.
Over this
Does
time.
I assume it consumes a spell slot?
It consumes a spell slot, and you can only do it once per day.
Okay.
Since it's not an innate, you're kind of learning how to manipulate your own, the way you already use your spores. So it's both a magical process in which you're casting spells and using magic to usher the spores forth, but also it's a natural situation. So you're basically coaxing the spores to do an activity. So it's a little bit of both. So you get one. Okay. So you'll be doing that for the entire night, and then you have 4 hours of meditation at the end of that, which will be your long rest. Who's up?
I'm going to find wherever you're done, where we left him.
Okay, where you left him?
Yeah, where we told him to go.
Well,
You know what I mean.
all right.
We assigned everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Sad music.
Oh, I don't
You're
like
done.
it. I don't like
You're
it.
done.
Uh-oh.
I thought it was happier than this. Yeah, no, it's not sad. It's just like a Hamlet. It's just like a poor Hamlet.
Hamlet
Yeah,
very-
like poor Hamlet, I died at the end.
He means Hamlet like a town, you dummy.
I know.
He was making a pun. That was like
I
the best
get
pun
it.
he's ever made.
That's not really a pun if he doesn't know it's a pun.
I think he knew it was a pun. That's a 5-star pun.
Anyway,
Everybody good?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, there's vocals. I don't like it. Change. Let's try this one. Sure. This kind of sounds like there might be a passionate sex scene.
Stop it.
Anyway.
We're not
You rolled
pulling...
a 20. Why would you just say that out loud?
I was gonna say a Game of Thrones spoiler, but I'm not going to now.
How would you?
Okay, so you left him at Sewer 3, which, so you're, human, and then this one went up between the Elven and Aarakocra, and so this one was over next to the, more druidic, part of the city that it used to be. So very naturey. And you're flying there?
Yeah.
Because that's where Kazan was too. And Professor said that's where he was headed.
Were you coming with me? Did
I was gonna
you...
either. Did I say I was gonna find Caston, or did I
That was
tell
the
him?
idea.
Did I tell him to meet me at the Hartnell?
You did say... Well, you said both. So, when she dropped you off, the intention was to meet Kasdan, and you also told Kasdan to meet you there.
Okay.
So...
I guess I was gonna go to the Hartnell and wait for him then, or maybe find him. I don't
Okay,
know
'cause
which I said.
it's been like an hour or so. So,
Okay.
Anyway, so you're at the Hartnell, kind of just waiting, which was
Okay,
next to
sure.
the place where Dal'Rok's, kind of that
Command
bar
center,
kind of command
yeah.
center-y area was, which is not far from where you were headed. Okay, so you're headed that way. Go and roll a perception check.
Are my pink dice on your dice, Jill?
Mm-hmm.
17.
17. Okay. you fly over and you're kind of going around, not just like a straight as the crow flies path, because that's kind of over this empty area where that explosion occurred. So you kind of followed around where people would walk. And as you do, about halfway in between where his apartment is and where sewer 3 is, you see the figure of a person holding what looks to be 2 bodies on their shoulders.
I'm gonna fly down.
Okay.
And see what's going on.
Okay. You fly down and you see it is Jordan standing there, walking, and he kind of has this look on his face. His sword is stowed. He's got he's covered in ash, and you can see there's places where it looks like he's wiped it away with his hand off of his plate armor, but there's still like places, especially on his legs, and he's still got like a little bit of a smear on his face, since he's much more shaven than I am. See that, and his hair is back, and he's a little disheveled, and he's kind of got like a piece of hair kind of hanging down. He's kind of, and you can see there's like these sooty marks across his head, like he was sweating, and he's been doing this a couple times with this dirty gauntlet. And on his shoulders are the very dead bodies of 2 of the guards that you sent along. It seems they did experience an attack, and as you and then land, he kind of looks at you and he goes, "Oh, fuck."
How bad was it?
I mean, they're dead.
How many?
I lost count. Dozens. As he sort of walks, kind of takes some time to set them each down. Kind of just on the ground. In this area, as you move toward the like the Goliaths and Furbolgs are kind of where this area was, and because the populations were lower, there's the sewers get spread out much more on these sides. And so it's kind of just like dirt ground with like nice grass, and you can see like there's some buildings that ivy has overtaken over the last 5 years, and while they're not large, like they're kind of like yurts, or you ever seen Viking home, like long houses made out of sod brick? You see a lot of these kinds of structures, so it kind of looks like hills with houses inside the hills that nature is just starting to reclaim. He kind of sets them down in this sort of slope, kind of like Hobbiton, and you can see these guys were crushed to death. I mean, you've experienced that, but it seems like they fought. They didn't just die immediately. They did fight. Kasdan's not here, but he's not holding his body, so you think that's good. Kasdan's also much faster than Jordan.
Yeah.
He kind of takes a seat on this slope, and he sits down. I don't even know their names.
Well,
Killed a lot of them, though.
good news is I think we got rid of all of them.
Well, yeah, they all exploded into ash.
Yeah. There is apparently something keeping them on this plane of existence. They shouldn't have been here in the first place.
I don't know, I've never seen anything like this shit. There's a big one, too.
A big one?
Yeah.
Did it have little ones coming out of its back?
No.
What do you mean?
I don't know, he's coming towards us. He had like long claws. I thought we were fucked.
Oh god.
Oh, he bashed too, though. So I don't know why that happened, but we didn't expect as many. I was able to hold the portcullis thing closed for a while, just by myself and these two guys. And Kasdan was in the back, trying to pick him off.
Kasdan's okay, right?
Yeah, he got fucked up, but yeah, he's good.
Okay.
He's gonna need some, I don't know. He said he had to meet Professor or something, so, and he was alive still, so he was excited about that. I don't know.
Did you hear anything from anyone else on any of the other entrances?
How would I?
I don't know. Some of us have magical abilities to communicate.
Well, sure, but... I don't know.
I walk over and I give him a smooch on the forehead.
Carbon.
It's fine.
On your lips, and you have to wipe it off. Like burnt toast.
I'm glad that you made it out, though.
I'm glad you did. Alright, let's get these guys somewhere.
Yeah,
We should take them back.
I'll help.
Okay. Picks one up.
Carry the other one.
Alright, you guys start walking back. Alright.
I'll go.
Okay. So while this is happening, you're waiting at the Hartnell. Are you inside or outside?
Outside, probably waiting to see when Kasdan shows up.
Okay. You sit there for a little while and you kind of examine the outside of the Hartnell. Looks to be in good shape. You haven't really done an exterior check in a while, but still a box. Still looks like a porta potty. Looking good. The lock is very secure. And of course, just prior to this moment, you saw a little eyeball floating. Yeah. As that happens, Kasdan, holding his stomach in kind of his ribcage area, limps forward.
Oh God!
Pass around a corner, and there's him, and he's like,
As soon as I see him, I get up to him as quick as I can, and I start doing cure wounds on him.
Okay.
Let's see, 11 points back, and then.
Okay, he had 15 hit points left.
Okay, 11, and then 16. I'll just add it all together and then give it to you. 58 hit points back.
Okay.
Does he look? I mean, I'm sure he's still beat up, but
I think he's just past bloody to that point. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I want to say he's got like 80 hit points or something.
I thought he was over 100.
No, he's over 100.
Is it over 100?
Yeah, he's got like 100 something.
I have him somewhere around here. 108. So yeah, 58 plus 15. Yeah, he's over.
Okay, I'll give him one more first level and one more second level cure wounds for 33 more hit points.
Okay.
Aww.
Yeah, he's very close. As you just kind of
Yikes.
go, yeah, his ribs were fucked up. Again, more constricting.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, Jesus, how did, I mean...
It didn't go well. I mean, well, we didn't die. And then they, at one point, this big one was coming out, and there was, like, probably, I don't know, 24 of the little ones. We couldn't hold them back anymore. We couldn't bottleneck after the other two died, and...
How did the...
We were gonna run.
I know you were with Jordan and all those guards. How did the guards do?
They did well, and then they died. They were good guys. I don't know their names, but they were good. They did a good job. They were strong.
I just kind of, he wipes his forehead. And it's just like, let's get into the Hartnell, and I grab him and
he does. Walk into the Hartnell.
Start walking towards the bar.
Oh yeah. He walks towards. He starts taking off his armor that is very damaged at this point. He unbuckles a couple, and he's just like, oh, so much better, so much better. As there was while you did cure wounds, there was like a plate around his abdomen that seems to have been bent and crushed that was pushing on like his liver, and he pops it open. And so he takes off that leather. That's his studded leather is toast. It's run its course. He's gonna need new armor for sure. As for everything, he just leaves everything else. You should get a bartender.
I do this, and the Hartnell emergency alert and response technician shows up.
Which is just you.
Which looks like you.
Yeah.
Unless you changed it.
No, still
Okay.
looks like me.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, he's actually normally used to clean up, like, vomit and poop. He hasn't been used in a while, though. He's probably clean.
I don't want to clean up vomit and poop anymore, please. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks. What do you want to drink?
Oh, God.
Existence is pain for me.
You know, at least you exist. That's better than the alternative.
Is it, though? Is it better?
I could unmake you. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna...
That's what I'm asking for.
No, you can... Caston, what do you want to drink?
Oh, just something strong. What have you...
Kingslayer.
Fuck yeah. Your wish is my command, because it is. It literally is. I can't... He starts... I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be. And yet I'm doing it. And he puts an umbrella on the top and he hands it to you politely. I wanted to throw that at you. I have no choices.
Okay, you can go wherever you go when you're not around me, I guess.
To nowhere.
Okay, you can go back there.
Makes 2 Kingslayers and hands it to you.
Look at Caston, I go... I could have made him without the personality. It's more fun this way, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't even...
I have a little bit of self-loathing going on. Anyway, so...
Don't we all? And he starts really drinking. Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah.
I presume all the monsters turned to ash when,
Yeah,
okay.
You look down at him, and I mean, while his face is pretty fair in general, he starts wiping it away, and underneath is a much more bright-colored shade of skin than he was showing. He goes on to describe, like, they were surrounded, and I counted the rounds.
Oh my god.
So they were surrounded when that was chucked.
Okay. Okay. And I proceed to kind of explain to him what happened in relatively decent detail, and how we went down the first time and it didn't work, and then sank through the thing through the portal.
He's smart enough to get all this.
Sure. Okay. So that's good. So one thing dealt with. And, okay. I also have this message from our friend. He's in danger, possibly.
Oh, what?
And there's this floating eyeball that's been showing up that I might be just seeing. Who knows?
Hold on, what?
Okay, so... And then he takes his wand and locks the door.
You hear this.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't normally... I'm good with words when they're, running away from the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I am exactly the same way. I gotta be honest, it's kind of a turn-on.
Thank you.
Self-destructiveness is, my thing.
Oh, ideal. Anyway.
Okay. Points itself.
I've had a lot of problems for a long time, even back where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
I've never felt overwhelmed until now.
Oh.
And I feel like I don't feel comfortable showing that even to my other friends. Because, I don't know. Not a good look. But,
Yeah, you're kind of... I don't know that you're in charge, but it's definitely... He points to this. All of this. There's a lot of responsibility here.
yeah. So,
I get it.
I just needed someone to tell I am over my head. And
Yeah.
that does not happen often. So,
Well,
I am glad you're here.
thank you.
And that I'm glad you're here. And then he just takes a long drink of his drink.
Well, and he sort of puts a hand on your shoulder and rubs a little bit. We should make a list. It's what I do. Well, usually there are assassinations or political disruptions, but if we make a list, we can say, what can we accomplish now? Right? And we start ticking these things off the list, and they're solid, they're material, and they're not out. We have addressed them. We don't run away from them. And if we don't run away from them, then we can kill them with swords. Or knives. Or they kill us first. But yeah.
I don't know if all the problems will be solved that simply, but I like it as an ethos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what's problem number 1? What's the biggest problem?
Oh god. The world's probably gonna end. That's pretty big. The other problems are
Okay,
nested
table
inside
that.
that one.
Table that. That one we can't take on. Nope.
Okay.
That one's not even on the list. Oh god.
Pressing issues.
Wait, why is it end? No, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Okay. Friend missing, working on deciphering that, and creepy eyeball. Those are probably up
Okay,
there.
what are our best leads between the two of those? Creepy eyeball. What do we know about creepy eyeball?
It's creepy, and it floats,
Oh.
and it appears to be an eyeball.
Like a fleshy eyeball?
What did it look like? What did it look like specifically?
Roll a perception check to kind of see how well you were looking at it.
Oh, yikes. 11.
It's kind of in between. You can't. Sometimes it looks like a glass eye that's made to look fleshy, and sometimes you might think it looks wet, but you can't tell if it was just shiny. But it did make a noise. It went, which sounded mechanical.
That would be very concerning, because there's not a ton of people on this plane that I'd imagine would be able to... I mean, Sig, but I don't think... I mean, he could be creeping on me, but I don't think that's him. He would probably tell me at some point. I don't know. I have to keep working on the message, and... I don't know. I just...
So you have no leads with the creepy eyeball. Just that it's creepy and an eyeball.
Yeah.
So what leads do you have to your friend?
There's this code I'm deciphering.
He was with you when Icilius got, right?
Was he?
Or was it right?
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
with
I
us.
think so, yeah. Yeah.
He was fighting with us.
I explained, like, I heard Icilius, and then this message showed up on the Hartnell.
That's fucking wild.
I have a feeling many of these things are connected,
I didn't know.
but I don't know how. And I don't like multiple points on a map without a line between them that I can see and understand. So, I don't know. I'm just... Again, I'm glad you're here. That's all.
Sure. He does have an intelligence of 18, a wisdom of 20, and a charisma of 18. For the record, he can hang there with you with all of your ideas.
Okay. And then I think that's it. I just
Okay.
spend time with him. And...
Yeah, you guys just sit there for a while and kind of talk through it, and he's supportive. And you're supportive because he's dying, injured. You've healed quite a bit, but yeah. You sit there drinking some more Kingslayers. Alright. So, you fly down and head towards Katie's apartment, which Armadillo is in. And you get to the ground floor.
Okay, I'll go up to the door where they stand. Knock on the door.
So it's the second level up. So you walk up, you open the front door, walk up the stairs. First apartment on the right, and you kind of few minutes go by. Nothing.
Do I hear anything in the room at all? No.
Then you hear, shit. Movement. And then you hear someone, because your passive perception's really high, walk up to the door, and it sounds like clack, clack, clack. And a little chain link goes, pulls taut. Oh, God, okay. Seiko in a robe. Oh, hi.
I interrupt?
Yeah.
Oh. Aren't they supposed to be out defending?
Armadillos.
Weren't you at the...
Yeah. I survived. And so I celebrate.
I respect it.
All right, yeah.
Where is...
Any water? I'm joking. She's in the other apartment over
I'm just gonna
there.
turn
Katie made a bed for. Okay, all right.
Oh my
So
god.
across the hall where Katie keeps her other stuff, the door is just unlocked and you can pop it open.
I would still rather knock.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I come in?
Seiko? No. What? Yeah.
I'll just walk in.
Oh, okay. I thought that was.
So
I thought
smooth.
you were bad at flirting.
Yeah.
I thought.
Not trying to.
No, I thought I'm sorry. I got kicked out. So you see in there, pushed all the way back to the back wall because it's more like a studio apartment here. There's Katie's setup, so it's a lot of oranges and blues and purples and pinks of different jars and flasks all over the place. As she's been making tons of potions and shit, and a workbench, and there seems to be notes all over the place. And then near the front, there is a couch to the left, and that couch seems to fold out into a bed, and that's what Armadillo is on. Oh, hi. And she's just like reading a book, and she sets it down, and she's just in like loungewear, kind of those robes that you were wearing before, but less regal.
Yeah, I went to their apartment first.
Yeah. Yeah, Seiko came home, and they didn't really talk. They just kind of made eye contact, and then Katie said, go over there? And I was like, what? And she's like... And then I knew, and then, so I walked over here, and... Yeah. And I closed the door tightly behind me.
How long has it been?
45 minutes. Not super long. I think you probably interrupted.
Oh, I definitely did. 100%. Not the best timing.
Gross.
No. I don't know if they've been going at it the whole time, but oh boy, I didn't want to be part of that. So,
I still don't know how that works.
Bird dick.
I don't know how it works either.
Who said that?
Yeah, who said I don't know?
Oh, you weren't thinking that?
Oh no, I definitely am thinking it.
Okay. I don't know. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, you just let it happen.
Not gonna stop him, that's for sure.
Nope, not at all. Don't want to think about it.
Katie is more fiery than you think, and I don't mean like in a passionate way. I mean she could like. She's so strong sometimes.
That's interesting. She doesn't
know.
seem very strong.
No, I know, right? Anyway, so how'd it go?
Everything seems to be taken care of, at least.
That's good.
It was close.
I'm glad it wasn't past that.
No, it was close, but we made it, all of us.
Good. She kind of looks at you. And she steps off the fold-out bed and walks over, and there's like a rag, and then there's like a flask she pulls out. And she sort of dumps some on the flask, or some of the flask contents. It's just this clear liquid. And she kind of rubs it into it, and then she takes it and kind of makes like one of these, and she kind of you have shit all over your
Everything.
She starts to she first wipes your beak, and then she wipes like around here, and then she kind of grabs another rag. It's like, oh god, and then she kind of just cleans you up a little bit because you're
Ashy.
not just ashy. There's like a little bit of a film from what you just walked through for.
Yeah.
Like there's moisture and it clinged, and then the particulates stuck to you. It was.
Oh, prestidigitation has never been a better spell.
You have not been prestidigitated.
Not at all.
So.
No, I have not bathed in like 2 days.
Yeah, no. And you're a little hurt and
But a
stuff,
bird
but not a
bath
ton,
sounds
right?
cool.
What are your hit points at?
There's like a
76.
subtle way of
76,
being
so
like,
you're
yeah.
like 2/3.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Didn't have a lot of time.
We have stuff.
I just got back.
Here. I know. I'm just saying we have stuff here, and through that door is a bath. And you look over to the side, and it has like a little, it looks like a closet door, but there's a small bath inside there, like a toilet and a small basin kind of tub.
I could use one.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I don't mean to be mean. I just.
No, I could.
You walked in and it sort of wafted.
Well, I mean, I was in the sewers for like 2 days, so
Yeah.
it just explains itself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
The fact that
go
you didn't clean
bathe.
yourself after first trip
Okay.
during the long rest.
All right. Perfect.
fine.
Do you want me to? I can clean your
The
stuff.
Emperor.
I'm bored as shit.
If you're bored, go for it.
The Emperor walking through the city.
All right. So just set your stuff out, and I'll take care of it. And so you unbuckle
The
your
tabloids
stuff.
are
You still have your
going crazy.
your tabard and stuff underneath.
Yeah.
And you kind of hand your armor over, and she starts taking that clear liquid to it, and it looks like liquid prestidigitation. It kind of just cleans stuff up.
So glad I can always smell beef.
And then you head into the bath. It's kind of like like a claw-footed tub, but like a circle. This is very close to the Aarakocran Wedge. So this apartment building seems to be to have accommodations for Aarakocrans and otherwise. And then so this is very similar. It's not quite like what you're used to as far as how Aarakocrans typically bathe, but it's better than you've gotten in a long time.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it has a spout that you can pull over and fill the basin with. And there's turns out Katie is quite the bath bomb enthusiast. So there's some of those.
Of course.
That would make sense.
Fact that I'm using one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the oil be bad for the wings?
I don't know. She's
She's
an
an
Aarakocran.
I don't give a shit.
I assume they could be magical alchemical bath bombs.
You don't
It's
know.
usually
Just
shea
perfect.
butter.
So
Oils.
she has one of every color of the rainbow. Which color would you like
Purple.
to pick? And also white and
Watch
black.
him be
Purple.
stained.
Purple? Okay, so purple is a lavender, which is interesting. Didn't plan that. And so it's a nice lavender. You're very relaxed. Goes in there and spins around and makes this purple foam. It's very nice and girly. You're very happy. And actually, because of your royal nature, this isn't super far away from what your expectations would be if you were still at home, I guess. Bath bombs are a little bit different, but nice oils, nice scents, and there are implements around that you can get your feathers clear of this shit. And yeah, how long do you want to spend in there?
Probably 20, 25 minutes.
Okay, yeah, you soak for a little while, enjoy it, let your muscles relax a little bit and stretch, and take care of that. And when you get out, you have just a towel. Because that's what they have.
Yeah.
She says towel. So you put a towel around your waist and you walk out. Hey, there you go. You can draw owl smut now. You can draw shirtless Avelios. I guess if that's smut, I don't really know.
It's just like I'm
It's
looking
just
at a
feathers.
bird.
It's bird in a towel.
Hold
So
on, I'm
you-
gonna find a picture of a bird in a towel.
So you walk
now.
out. You got a towel around your waist, and you're dried a little fluffy from you walk out, and your armor
Where's
is
the towel?
set out and much cleaner.
Oh my god.
Hey, you.
And she looks at you and goes, "That is much better.
I feel a lot better.
You look a lot better. I mean, you smell a lot better."
No, I get it.
Yep.
I get it. You're fine.
If she could be red, she would be red right now.
I can tell. I think I can sense that.
Oh yeah.
You want some food?
More than yes, I want food.
Let's go get some.
All right, cool. So you put on your robe.
Towel and a towel.
And you guys head downstairs and walk out. And there's street food around. There's also the soup kitchen down the road a little bit at not Kasdan's, Dal'Rok's, if you'd like.
Let's do some street food.
Okay.
Walk around,
Sure.
relax.
And
There
you
we
do so. Plenty of Aarakocra stuff around right now. It's not super late, so there's still some people. Yeah, and you can get some stuff on sticks, some easy street food. You can hang out in the square, and it's getting nicer. The more time you guys have been spending here, like every day, it's been getting just a little bit nicer as people sort of like clean it up, move in. You see some people starting to try to make small businesses. Mostly, it's food service oriented right now because there's not a lot of agriculture in here. And yeah, so you can do so. How long do you want to spend doing that?
Probably the rest of the day.
Okay, well, the night.
Yeah.
So it was about like I don't know. By the time you get back here, probably 7 p.m. or so. And so it's a nice evening. While you are out and about, people definitely acknowledge your presence. Some of the other Aarakocrans and stuff give you a nice bow. You can see that there's word is spread that kind of like, and they're pretty happy about that. You're walking amongst them, and it's pretty weird for you to do that real casually without needing like you don't have guards around. The Praetorians were off doing stuff and they seem to like respect that a little bit. It's weird. Like you can see especially some of the older Aarakocrans kind of give you a look, but most of your reception by Aarakocran specifically has been kind of this like warm smile, like, hey, glad you're having a good night kind of thing. Partway through that, you do see the large lumbering form of Jerdun, and you do see Alenia as they walk past, not seeming to notice you, and they are holding 2 bodies.
Guess I'll walk up.
Okay, so you're walking past the square, you're about 2 blocks away from where Dal'Rok's is, and you're holding bodies, and people, as you walk by, they look and they start to get a little somber, and you just finished some food, and you kind of walk up, and Armadill's with you.
How'd it go?
You make eye contact.
Bad? Apparently. I mean, I look at the body in my arms.
From the south, because you came from the north, from the south you see 3 Praetorian guards and 1 normal militia member, a human man, walking with them, seemingly unscathed, as they walk towards the square. They look for you. And you see the largest Praetorian the one that seemed to be quasi in charge. He walks up to you.
How'd it go?
He looks at those soldiers. Seems you've gotten casualties. We saw no action. However, Sewer System 4 did see resistance. We went there and it was covered in ash and the bodies of our brothers and his, and they look over to the militia members, who's again, he's just in like cloth armor and he has a short sword. We did not recover bodies.
Are we gone?
And you kind of I don't know what we found. Then the man next to them goes, I don't know either. And he kind of walks up, and you can tell he's like under 18. And he sort of we found their stuff, but not their bodies.
What do you mean by their stuff?
Equipment, I assume?
He looks up to the Praetorian, and then one of them has a sack that seems to be on his back, and he takes it off, and he sets it in front, and you look down in the sack, and there's three sets of red armor. You see the other one to the right of the largest one has 3 more firearms stuck over his shoulder, and he has a couple more spears on his back, glaives, as he's holding more. And then inside there's another set of kind of old leather armor and a mace and some shoes and stuff.
It's interesting. It didn't happen. We didn't see any of that.
They were wiped out, sir.
How many survivors from...
All of us survived. We were commanded by the one known as Seiko. And then this man here. We experienced no attack whatsoever. Those at Sewer System 4 seems to be all lost. Not sure we've met, but this gentleman was in charge of Sewer System 3, and he looks at Jerdun. Jerdun's like, two losses. You guys were at 2, and then
I look at the young man. What's your name?
Jim.
Jim. Would you mind organizing some people to help recover bodies so we can see them?
There's no bodies.
None?
No, they said that.
There's no bodies.
Left behind at all?
None.
Jim.
What?
You have family?
No. It's just me.
Friends?
Well, yeah.
You can go to them. It's okay.
We'll do. He puts... Thank you, sir. He sort of walks away.
What happened to the...
We
No one
don't know.
saw?
No one was there.
No one was there
Everyone
except for
that
them.
was isn't there. Well,
I thought they meant they didn't take them, not that they were
No.
in
There was-
existence.
they have their stuff but no bodies.
What?
Well, the most we can do now is make sure these 2 gentlemen here get a proper burial. Make sure their families know.
Jerdun speaks up. I agree.
From what we know so far, everything's taken care of.
I could take these 2 to Dal'Rok and find out who they were.
We should probably hold some sort of memorial service since we don't have bodies to bury.
I mean, we can. I don't know what their names were. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know who they were.
I'll talk to Dal'Rok and I'll figure it out. All right. Give me him.
I'll help. I'll carry him with you.
You have friends.
I'm gonna go with you to help.
That's okay.
Okay. Starts walking. Glad you're okay, buddy.
You too.
Sort of knucks. And then he starts walking away. The Praetorians. What orders would you like us to have?
Get some rest.
And what?
Tomorrow, just report to Dal'Rok, see if there's anything for you to do.
Will do.
Work. I guess we could probably work on trying to build you guys back up again, since we lost some. It might be hard, but...
No, never mind.
No, speak. You don't have to worry about holding your tongue.
Sort of looks at the other two, and the other two sort of take like a quarter step back.
Ugh.
More body language than an actual step. And he steps forward. When we became Praetorians, we cast our names aside. But there is no nest. I would like to pledge myself to you in a different way. You're a good man. Young, but good. He sets his glaive to the side with his left hand and reaches out his right hand. And he does have a ring. All of them do have a red metal ring. He takes it off. And he puts it in his pocket, and the other two do as well. My name is Setios. I will find more for you, and we will rebuild the Praetorian Guard. And I pledge my life to you. And he sort of does this, the other two.
You'd like to keep your name. I see no problem with that. I'm glad I finally know your name. Makes more sense. What are your two names?
Obscuros and Arias.
Strong names, I like it. We can do that. I trust you.
Okay. I think as well, we should be for this city,
I agree.
not for the people. I will not restrict this to Aarakocrans.
I was actually going to suggest that.
Before I took the Praetorian oath, I was a military official. Have a good night, my lady. And they sort of turn around and walk away. They take the sack of shit.
Yeah. What time is it?
Like
Roughly,
8.
like 8.
What were the names of the Praetorians again?
Setios.
Setios Obscuros Arias. Arias. Obscuros.
And
Like the lady from Arizona who stabbed her boyfriend.
Setios, Obscuros, and what?
Settios.
Okay.
Obscuros.
Yeah.
Obscuros. UROS,
Mm-hmm.
and Arias, ARIAS.
Okay.
I'm trying to take like notes on this stuff in the hopes that eventually I can like put this somewhere so people can be like, "Hey, who are these people?"
Sure.
That'd
We
be good.
do have a website that we could update that
Yeah.
all on, but it's
Okay.
So, you guys walk over to the soup kitchen / bar / command center for Dal'Rok, and you walk on the door with 2 dead bodies. Dal'Rok is in there. Doesn't seem to be many other people except Carl. 2 more of the militia are both there, so they survived. It doesn't seem like there was an attack because they were guarding the sealed entrance that Egnir had gone into. But they were gone before Egnir got there, so.
Jardad said that there were dozens of casualties, but
No, he said there were dozens of
creatures. Oh, I was very
Not
confused.
dozens of casualties.
Okay, that's
You didn't even have dozens
Got
of
it.
people to put at these
Yeah,
holes.
I know. That's why I was very confused.
No, there would. So, based on the location, 1 and 2 were your volatile ones because those were next to
Yeah.
population centers. There were no casualties that you can tell, other than people guarding these entryways because you guarded 3, 4, and 5, which were far away from people enough, and you were in 2.
And 4 was the one that got wiped out.
4 is the one that got wiped out.
Okay.
So yeah. The only one that didn't experience attacks were 5 and 1.
Okay.
So Seiko didn't see any fight whatsoever, but had walked past 4 with the Praetorians and saw that shit, and so he went home and celebrated.
Didn't get turned to ash.
So you walk in, and Carl is there, and he is just drinking merrily, like easy day of work for me. Dal'Rok is there, like writing down something on. He seems to always have some sort of ledger on him. And then there are some other militia people, and then just townspeople around. You walk in. Dunn walks in first. Hey guys. And then kind of stops, and everybody looks. He shuts his ledger and stands up. Okay, well, I see not all news was as good as Carl's,
No.
but since we're not all dead, I think it's overall good news. Well, let's bring them over.
I'll bring him over
And he
to
says,
Dal'Rok.
move this table, and people clear off this table and kind of move it over. You can set them on the table. It's kind of a
Yeah.
longer table. Well, does anybody know these men? People look around and doesn't seem to be. Carl walks over. These are my guys. Can't really recognize them. I'll ask around tomorrow morning. We'll make sure they get a proper burial. And none of my guys have families, though. I don't take them yet that way, so.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing them back. And then a couple above the other militia guys walk over and they look, shake their heads, raise their mugs in silence and drink. Well, Dal'Rok speaks up. I'm glad you're okay. Did we lose anyone else? Reports from 1 are good. Reports from 5 are good, and apparently 3 is mixed.
4, we lost everyone.
Everyone.
and there were no bodies. Armor
Were they
and...
taken inside?
I don't know. No one saw it, apparently, but their armor and things were left behind, but there are no bodies. It's possible I don't know what these creatures are capable of, because we didn't see the full extent, but we did find piles of ash before they all turned to ash, so maybe they have the capability to do the same to others. But I don't know what was going on at that.
I don't know. Well, are we safe for now?
Yes, they should have no tether to our plane, apparently. Sig was with us. He found a device that was keeping them here, and threw it into a portal to another plane of existence, so... basically, they can't exist here.
That's beyond me.
It should have wiped out all of them.
Okay. As long as we're safe. I can tell the people that the sewers are off limits. We'll build up more militia and we'll clear them and make sure they're working properly.
I was gonna say you should probably send people down there to investigate further, just in case something is still...
We will. I'll call Tin Top
surviving.
and ask if they have any investigators that can look into this that maybe are a little more professional. They do have detectives in the area and things, so we can hire them out. We have enough money for that for now. In other news, I got word from Alexander and Vala that they're on their way back soonish, and so is Grum.
Good.
Grum should have new people, so that's good. And Alexander and Vala, were honeymooning or something. I don't know.
I don't blame them.
I don't know. I know nothing else. I did get a letter from a Sontrarch who said I was safe. It just said, "You are safe." Sontrarch.
Yeah, about that.
Okay.
There shouldn't be anyone else trying to make assassination attempts on your life, at least from this large cabal based out of Tin Top.
Oh.
We never really got to talk about that, but we did intercept an assassin that was coming to kill you.
Okay.
And turns out she wasn't all that bad, and we came to terms, and now you're safe.
Well, yes I am, and he holds it up, and it's sort of scribbly. You are safe, Sontrarch.
You know, if we ever have any kind of magical artifacts and we need information about things, he's actually a good contact.
Excellent, excellent.
But
I did also... I'm sorry not to cut you off. You can continue. I just... Remind me that I have another letter for you guys.
oh yeah, basically, if you guys come into contact with any sort of magical items, and we really have no leads on anything else that we really need information on, let us know, because we could maybe talk to Sontrarch about that. But his payment is required for information. It's a long story.
I don't need it's fine. Yes, and then he hands you a small sealed scroll, and it has a Marengo seal on it.
I'm gonna open it.
Okay. And it is addressed to the 8, which is interesting. Because you haven't told a lot of people about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we never went back after Saris probably died.
Saris did die.
Yeah, shit.
You open it up,
Yikes.
and it is from Harper.
Oh.
And it says, "I see you've been wandering. Come to me at your nearest convenience." And it basically just, it's very casual. It's like, if you want to visit, Should be good. Should be a nice, good visit.
Interesting.
And so Harper sent that here. He also says he puts a date on it at the bottom. What's your intelligence score?
13.
Okay, that's high enough. You're not usually the one with a calendar in your hand. But it's not dated for like a date in the past. It's dated for a future date.
Okay.
And it says... what's the date today?
It is the
23rd,
Hold on.
I think.
When do I rip the top part? I have the 25th.
25th?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just guessing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have the 25th. We went to the
Yep.
sewers the first time on the 24th.
Why am I blanking on the town name right now?
Gygax?
What?
Marengo?
Marengo.
Oh.
Marengo. Yeah, he just said it.
I know. I would just had a
And
blank.
it's marked for the 38th.
This month.
That is also, oh, no, never mind. Interesting.
So that's 2.5 weeks
Okay.
from this moment.
Interesting. I'll have to tell the professor about this, I think. Well, thanks for everything, Dal'Rok.
Absolutely. I don't know. Just glad you're safe. Apparently Grum has quite a few builders
Good.
from Ivory Drift and some merchants, so we should be seeing an increase in commerce here.
We've already started construction on Sky Point, so
I've seen we haven't had very many builders here because you paid so well.
yeah.
That's okay though.
I figured.
You need labor as well. That's absolutely fine.
Well, I figured if we got that out of the way as soon as possible, it would give us a solid base of operations.
Honestly, any influx of coin in the area is absolutely warranted and fantastic and wanted. So you're only stimulating the local economy. It's a trickle up.
The D&D economy in general kind of depends upon adventurers to go
It
out
really
and
does,
do
yeah.
shit.
Yep.
Did
They have
you-
to find like money.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you need any coin to help pay builders for the city?
Not at the moment. Because we're at a labor shortage right now, but we'll see. The Aarakocrans have gone to doing volunteer work on their own portions, and wouldn't take my money, so...
Do you need anything anyway to get the city running, or that you might predict you need for the future?
Not today. I'll let you know after Grum comes here and I see what he has. And, yeah.
Okay. Just let me know, because we do have some that we could give.
Absolutely. At the same time, you also need it. So,
I'd like to see the city get back on its feet as fast as possible.
I agree. I'm worried about the southern front of the war, however, so I think it would be prudent to have the Aarakocran Emperor, as it were, make a visit down there in the next few weeks.
I have a feeling we're going to have to come to some sort of peace talk soon.
That would be preferable.
Yeah.
But we will see.
It's gonna be a lot. There's so much on our plate right now.
Well, it doesn't have to be all on yours. That's what I'm here for.
I know. It's just
This will go by itself. You just step back. You take care of the evil, murdery things. I'll take care of the municipal advancement. I can't believe I'm saying that. That used to not be my job at all.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, you know.
You're a good man, though, so.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go check on everyone else now. And get
Please
some
do.
rest.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Carl walks over to Jordan. As you sort of walk out. If you hurt her, I'll cut your nuts off. Jordan looks down and goes, "What?" I've known her for a long time. She's a good woman. Okay.
Wholesome.
Thanks. He sort of gives almost like a dad pat on the
Isn't
shoulder.
he like shorter than Jordan?
He is a little bit, but he's older. He's definitely older. He's in his 40s, and he's kind of got like the speckled gray beard.
Oh my god.
Good for Carl. I like Carl.
Is Jordan coming with?
Yeah, Jordan walks out right after this. You don't really hear that interaction, but
Okay.
you just see Jordan go. Okay. Sorry. Alright, you have a lot of fans. That's good.
A lot of fans?
Don't worry about it. Let's go see if the professor's alright.
We should clean up as well. You are covered in soot and ash and
Should we stop at the apartment?
probably.
Alright. You guys sort of take the block around, walk up to the apartment. He takes his shit off, gets into the tub pretty quickly, starts cleaning himself up. He sings in there a little bit.
That's cute.
And it seems to be... Go and roll perception check, because it's kind of...
5.
No. 13.
He seems to be singing A Pirate's Life for Me.
Oh my god.
Something he seems to have picked up.
God damn it!
That's the one with Yo Ho, right?
Yo,
Pirate's
Pirate's Life for me.
Yeah, that's the one.
He and Hansel should hang out far more
I'm
often.
surprised
I
that's what
agree.
would you do with a drunken sailor? I'm surprised he didn't do that one.
Yeah,
He's got to hang out with Hansel more often. Got to learn more
Stop.
songs.
after a little bit.
Was Jordan hurt in any way that I noticed?
Not super bad, actually. Mostly fine. It was mostly because of his plate armor, and they just do bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
He didn't really take a lot of damage. Casson took a lot more damage.
Because if he's hurt, I'm going to definitely start.
He's not that much. He has lay on hands as well. He
Yeah.
seems like he took care of himself for the most part. You cleaned him up when he first got there a little bit, but he walks out, towel around his waist as well. Lots of scars all over his body. Some of which are worse than others. But it seems like, besides like a large bruise kind of around his midsection,
Seems okay.
it almost looks like he got into like a mild car accident and the seatbelt pulled real hard. Yeah, mostly okay. Alright, and he starts to put on normal clothes.
I'm also gonna go wash up because I've been just prestidigitating myself for like 2
you
days.
go for it, and he doesn't have any bath bombs, sorry.
No.
Ah, get fucked.
Go and roll another perception check while you're in there.
Oh no. 16.
16. You hear some sort of ruckus from the apartment next door.
Lay on the second floor.
Oh my god.
If you remember correctly, Jordan and Katie have adjacent apartments.
I'm gonna like listen.
Oh yeah.
What I
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wash out. Oh god.
gonna speed up the bath time a little quicker,
Yep.
so I don't have to listen to that
Sure.
the whole time.
Okay. All right.
And I'm just gonna actually. We don't have like multiple sets of clothes. I'm like, hey Jordan, can I like borrow a shirt or something?
Yeah, go ahead. They're in the closet.
Okay.
You see like a linen closet in there, and up inside there's some shirts and stuff.
I like dust off my pants and try to prestidigitate them as well as I can, and then I steal one of his shirts.
It works pretty fine. It's
He's never getting that shirt back.
it doesn't have the same quality as if you were to take it to a cleaner, and like it doesn't have that softness to it, but it's
Yeah.
definitely not dirty.
Yeah. I just realized all I had was dirty clothes, so.
Sure. And you it's a little big on you, but you manage to tie it up at the bottom a little bit and tie the sleeves up. It's pretty cute. It's not a terrible look. He seems to like it.
Well, you said you wanted to go check on the professor?
We could do that in the morning.
Yeah. I'm exhausted.
He sort of lays down in the bed, and it's a nice bed. It's not great, but it's like a nice bed. It's about a king size. He's a pretty big dude though, so kind of lay down. He goes like this because the head of the bed behind is the sliding sort of glass balcony door, and he kind of so the fresh air can come in. He's like, oh, and
Yeah.
He sort of goes like this, and you kind of lay down here.
Yeah, I lay down.
We should get you jobs.
Yeah.
And after a few seconds,
I'm gonna fall asleep right there too.
yeah, you immediately start to pass out. Is there anything else you want to do in the night? So after you guys are done eating, you walk back up, and did you tell her about like all the shit that went down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost fell into a giant
Yeah.
fucking cube and got.
Yeah, and she does not seem happy about that. As you walk back up, Seiko and Katie's is definitely still locked, and there's not that much ruckus though by the time you
Oh
get
god,
back.
I was gonna say, could we hear
It
that?
seems like it's died down. Maybe it's over.
They're on a break. They're
And you go into the
in
secondary,
some water.
the auxiliary apartment, and you're there. And across from the fold-out couch, kind of in the corner, covered in like papers and like coats and stuff, is like a lounge chair that you can move shit off of and sit on if you wanted.
Yeah.
And she kind of sits on the bed. I'm so glad you didn't die.
Me too.
That sounds horrible.
It was close.
You can stay here tonight if you'd like. I can't stay anywhere else, so.
I think I will.
Okay.
I'm exhausted.
And she sort of rotates and sits on the bed, and she goes, pats on the bed next to her. She sort of sits up in it. Oh.
I join her.
You sit next to her in the bed, and you guys just kind of have a pleasant conversation for a while. And she's just sitting there. Do you want to do anything specifically?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Are you playing Careless Whisper
She was doing it
with
with
your
her
mouth? After a little while, she kind of starts nodding off and then lays on your shoulder. And then shortly after, you nod off as well, kind of with your head back. You kind of sleep sitting up together. When everybody wakes up, Agner, you wake up a little bit earlier, surrounded by Myconids. Well, wake up. You stop meditating down in the sewer. And you arise for another day. It is right before dawn, but you've learned this new skill. The Myconids thank you, and you can see that they start to spread out into the rest of the chamber, and you notice they specifically avoid the rays of sunlight that are coming in through the front of the chamber. Seems like they have a sensitivity to it. And you are free to leave.
Alright. I'll just say goodbye to the sovereigns quick and then head back towards the Hartnell on foot.
They nod and let you know that if you want to come back soon, they can try to teach you their other ways.
I threw one at a thing, but then I was able to pick it up.
So you start to head back to the Hartnell, and you do so. It's parked in the normal place. It doesn't take long since you're in through number 1. And you awake to the sound of the door being knocked on of the Hartnell. Where did you guys fall asleep?
Did y'all pass out in the bar again?
No.
There's a lounge area in the bar as well, but
we would have found our way to either one or multiple bedrooms.
I'll let you decide.
Okay.
And then,
I know, I got the same thought too.
I will let you decide that. It's unknowable
I need
information.
to know.
Well, no one else is there to witness these things. So,
I go into the console room. I check to see who's outside, just on the monitor, and then I go and I open the door.
You open the door, and Professor is there, and you walk in.
How was your night, Professor?
You know, all things considered, pretty good. Things have been crazy, but you know, I think things are gonna take a good turn here. It certainly couldn't get more stressful. How was doing whatever weird mushroom man thing you were doing?
You immediately notice he is still filthy. His wounds have healed overnight, but he has that poo on him.
Okay. I do this in the Hartnell Emergency Alert and Response Team. Hey.
Yeah. Yes. You see a hologram of the professor. Yeah.
So this.
You're beating
You
around
haven't
the
met
bush.
Agnir. This is Agnir.
Yes, he is.
As he makes his way through the Hartnell, if he leaves any sort of trail, feel free to, do the thing that you exist to do. And then when it's done, I don't know, do you enjoy doing anything? I don't remember if I...
What do you enjoy to do?
Oh boy. I don't know. Can you drink? That was my last one's thing.
No.
Can you do drugs?
No, I
Pretty
don't
big
have
fan of that.
I don't have a body.
Could I make virtual drugs?
Oh my god.
I bet we could
computer
figure out
virus.
how to make virtual drugs.
I'll try and figure out how to make them virtual drugs at some
I
point.
know the concept of virtual drugs. Interesting. He starts to clean with a little more enthusiasm. He has a mop, but really there's lasers from above that just sort of...
Yeah. See, there you go. I've been all stick. Need more carrot. Carrot in
Okay.
this case is drugs, but,
Alright.
you know.
It'd probably just be some coding, honestly.
Yeah, sorry for the existence. I apologize.
Well, if you can numb it, then it's all the better.
Yeah, I'm in this bitch too. I know.
Okay. And then, so did you want to try to code him some drugs real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, go ahead and roll an intelligence check with, well, without proficiency the first time. Just a straight intelligence check.
Not like cocaine or
Sure.
the
Like
blow-
weed?
like the pipe weed, you know.
We'll start out with digital pipe weed. As you sort of, you created him, so you know, like, what would be his typical body chemistry would be whatever code, and you can kind of try to code so that his mental state would you're trying to simulate semi-euphoria.
18.
It's like skunk weed,
Okay.
but it's weed nonetheless.
I'm gonna put a hard limit on how much he can do, though. Like,
Sure.
I don't know.
It's not even doing, though. As soon as you punch in the code, you can set a numerical value on number of weed.
Let's set the maximum he can get to, like...
4 marijuanas.
I don't even know what... Let's say, like a decent, like, in real-world terms, like, joint worth. You know what I mean?
Boy.
Per day, if that's...
Okay, yeah.
Per
Sure.
existence.
He's not really gonna wake and bake and then finish it off at night, but he's He's got a nice afternoon ahead of him.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you can not exist after that if you want. Do whatever.
Boop. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah. Huh? What?
I need to stop making things that look like me because it makes me reflect on my life choices, and I'm not a fan. Anyway, and I walk back into the interior of the Hartnell.
He starts meandering around and kind of looking at stuff. So you have a high hologram walking around your console room, which is fine.
There's weirder shit going on right now, so whatever.
Monsieur Professor, I have no idea what just happened.
Yeah, you know, it's better to just go with it at this point. That's what I'm doing.
Feel morally conflicted?
I don't. It's easier.
So you both wake up.
I sleep in.
Sleeping in.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep in as late as we can get away with here.
Okay. So around 10 o'clock, you gotta pee, and you get it's just time to get up for your body. Both of you, roughly. So you two and Kasdan have, because Kasdan doesn't need to sleep that long either, because it's elf. You guys have a good 3 hours where just the three of you are in the Hartnell and your very high hologram.
Oh.
Okay.
When I get up, is Jordan still asleep or is he waking up too?
He's been awake.
Oh. I just stretch and take my time getting out of bed.
Brings you a coffee.
Thank you. I'm gonna sip on that and just be like, I want to go back to the Hartnell, but I don't want to go because that means that something else is gonna happen. I don't.
Well. Yeah. Well, I gotta check on some stuff today with some builds I was looking at. And again, in a couple days, I have a surprise for you.
A couple days?
Yep. I have a surprise for you in a couple days.
Okay.
Alright, so you should go to work, though.
I don't really have work.
Whatever you call it. You can't just be lazy around here all day. Lazy bones. And he starts to shake you.
I'm gonna spill this coffee.
Lazy bones.
Hey,
What?
look. I went into the sewers again.
Yeah. I stood outside of them and watched men die.
You don't have to make me feel bad.
Nah, don't feel bad.
We're all fucking awful people.
They chose to do that job, and I felt bad last night, and that's the night they get. If I felt bad for every person that died every day of my life, I wouldn't have many days under my belt. If you know what I mean. You gotta rub. You gotta.
No, you
They
have
get a
to.
night. They get a night.
You have to carry that with you. I mean, I gesture to his tattoo.
Yeah, I carry it with me. I didn't know these guys. Okay? They get one night. Okay? After that, we remember them, but we don't worry about it.
I'm going to worry.
I assume they're better off. They suffered yesterday and then they're done.
Considering what I know about the afterlife, I actually don't know if they're better off.
So the way the afterlife works here is your soul, depending on the virtues of that soul, and the alignment you die with, get shipped off to a respective place, assuming they weren't evil. Neutral goes to like a limbo type area to be filtered back in at the back of the line. So to speak, good people get moved to the front of the line, so to speak, and then they get to choose rebirth, non-existence, or existence on the like Elysian plane, whatever. Unless they go to the Hells, in which case that's what happens until they have uses for those souls. They usually use those souls. That person ceases to exist, and they create demons out of those souls after they're done torturing them to get them to the nice and ripe. So it's an optional system. So typically, since they get to choose, and sometimes they meander for a while. Obviously there's ghosts and specters and different undeath and different versions of that, but these guys just died. So you assume that their souls are being moved through that. Elves are a little bit different. Elves believe, and you don't have any evidence for this otherwise, but elves believe that they die and get mixed in with a collectiveness. It was explained to you once with the Eladrin, but and then being part of that one, assuming they lived long enough to do so, is their ideal end. But some of them get reborn as different versions of elves, and if they're bad, they become drow, which is why drow have such a bad rap. Then, of course, there's people like you and people like Vala, who seem to be mistakes.
Yep. Which kind of colors how I view the whole system. But...
Right, but that's the overview.
Yeah. I'm going to go...
Right?
What is it?
Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers? Holy
Oh,
shit.
those... yeah.
It's like a great ratio. Amazing ratio.
I get up after finishing my coffee. Just give Jordan a really big hug. And then...
He kisses you on the forehead. He slaps you on the butt and says, "Lazy bones!" He's wearing like slacks and boots. It looks like he's got a tool belt around. He's ready to go be foreman for a day and get away from violence for a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just gonna grab like my things. I'm still wearing a shirt. I'm keeping and I'm gonna find my way back to the Hartnell.
Sure.
To see what everyone else is up to.
Absolutely.
During the 3 hours or so between like when I get up and when they get up, could I try and make like a drawing on like the Hartnell monitors that I could show them of the eye I've been seeing so they could like keep an eye out for it?
Roll a performance check.
That's cocked. Performance 25.
Yeah, it's a very accurate representation of what you saw
Okay.
to the best of your recollection,
Okay.
which is also based on your perception check.
Sure.
So. Okay, and you're up about the same time as her, and did you do anything?
I just
She's also up.
just wake up, stretch out.
Yeah, your back is a little stiff. You both woke up like literally sitting.
I think next time we lay down.
Yeah, I think so. That's
Let's
okay.
do this.
Well, I have to help Katie today.
I should probably go check and see if anything needs to get done.
Yeah.
I don't think we're leaving yet, though, so I'll be back.
All right, good. We can go on another date, just like last night.
Just not to the restaurant.
He was so mad at you. Anyway. All right. You have a good day. I'm gonna get some of these supplies ready. Oh, and we made some extra. And she hands you a couple greater healing potions.
Thank you. We could use these.
They're for you guys, so we skimmed off the top a little bit. Don't tell. All right. You guys have a good day.
You too.
I'm gonna. Whew. Be safe. Just be safe.
I'll be as safe as I can.
And you walk out. At the same time you walk out, you see the back of Alenia's head, and you're done walking down the stairs.
Speed walk.
You speed walk? Are you trying to catch up?
Yeah.
Okay. You do, and you're kind of just like, you're
Kind of
down
hit
here.
her down on the back.
You hit your done on the back, so you
Yeah.
gotta pass Alenia.
That's fine.
Okay, so you, as they get out the door, you to your right side, you see Oh, hey, man.
What's up, buddy?
Hey. What you doing? What's up?
Chilling.
You see his tool belt. Chilling.
Yeah, just woke up.
Yeah, me too. You want to come build stuff, or?
We should probably get back and
alright.
see what's going on.
Cool.
But if we're not doing anything, I'll come build stuff.
Don't you have Emperor stuff to do?
You're supposed to do the Q&A
Yeah.
tonight.
Tonight,
Okay. Just
Mom.
All right. Well, you guys have fun. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go be a hero.
If the professor doesn't need my help, I'll come find you and help.
Sure. Cool. I'll be over here, and he kind of gives you directions. It's a few blocks away. He's just got a kind of a half broken down apartment building. He's trying to help renovate. All right. See you guys later. Kind of gives you a smooch on the cheek again, and he just.
We have to talk.
Oh God.
What did I do?
I hate when women say that.
I know. It's the worst.
Not. Well, it's pretty serious, but
So you're walking towards the Hartnell, which is not far from here. It's about a block away again.
I talked to Dal'Rok, and he said that we should probably have some sort of visit to the Southern Front soon. Because we are still at war,
Yeah, that's true.
and you are the Emperor.
I always forget about that stuff.
So
Just kind of popped up on my plate recently.
it would be a good idea to do a peace talk of some kind.
Peace
Try
talk
to
with
treat,
dragons.
have a treaty with them. Yes.
You know what's the bad part about this? Is if that one blue dragon just so happens to be at the peace talk.
We were
and she's
defending
like,
ourselves.
They
and
killed
we were,
my son.
Ah,
Then we're fucked.
it was self-defense.
We can't prove that.
We can't.
How? Do you have evidence that it was
To
self-defense?
be.
like,
What are you-
like
They were coming right at us.
they were coming at us. Okay, well, who else saw it? We did. Okay, well.
Well, there's Saldru.
Who was hunting?
Isn't she a dragonborn?
No. Soldier is the Blue Queen.
Not Saldru. What's her name? The black dragonborn lady.
That was hunting
Mm-hmm.
the dragons?
Yeah.
know her name.
I have it in here. I
Buddy
think.
and
Buddy and let's see. Oh jeez.
Pretty sure.
she's a black dragonborn dragon hunter.
I was gonna say they were hunting the dragon.
Okay, that's Gregor's body. This is way.
That's what they
before.
would use.
Yeah.
That's what the prosecution would use.
So I can figure
Okay,
out
so you're
that.
talking about this as you get to the Hartnell. Hartnell door is in front of you.
Trying to open it.
Okay,
It would be unlocked.
it's unlocked at this
Okay.
point.
Walk in.
You see a hologram of Professor 2 wandering around the upper deck area that kind of
Hey,
borders it, and he's looking at different books on shelves.
that's the. You're the
Hologram.
thing that I saw whenever.
What?
Do you remember me?
No.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I do. I do be okay.
You're.
What?
Huh? What?
I'm too tired for this.
Yeah, no.
Are you guys saying something?
No.
No, go back to looking at books, even though you're a hologram.
Where's the
I wasn't
professor?
looking at books.
What you looking at?
Bookshelf.
What's on bookshelves?
Books, but I wasn't looking at the book.
Why would you look at the shelf?
Because who knows?
It's
No one ever pays attention to bookshelves, man. They only pay attention to the books on the shelf.
Is there something
What
wrong?
happens if there's something on the shelf we don't know about?
Okay, I'm
Because
gonna
we're paying
walk
attention
away
to the
from this and go
You just
find the
start- you just start-
professor.
I follow. I was like, no. It's the worst version of the professor. I can't have it.
So you walk around. It's not hard. Where's the professor at?
I'd be in the meeting room that I
Sure.
made a
Yeah.
while back. Circular. There's like a circular but a little bit ovular round table in the center, and there's sort of an arm coming down with
Right.
with a
The
monitor
screen that
you
can
move
follow
around
around.
the table.
Kazan's in there with you. Again, he doesn't have any armor or anything.
I found the best thing in my notes. It says trick dragon into running off looking for them elsewhere. Professor pretended I died and was pregnant. Ew. In parentheses, I put.
Ew.
So.
That's one of our best early adventure stories.
It really is.
So. Kazid's in there. Egnir, I assume you're in the greenhouse?
Yeah, I want to check up on that blue flower.
Okay. It is very close. Probably tomorrow.
Okay.
Hydra. Found it.
The dragon hunter.
Hydra and Buddy.
The dragon hunter.
Yeah.
Keyword, hunter.
Yep.
We're literally fucked.
So, after a minute, you go to the meeting room and Professor's in there. Door's open.
Hi, everyone have a good, hopefully, cleaner than earlier in the day night?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Okay.
Agnir's in the,
Oh yeah, I'll wait for him, but then...
well, he doesn't know.
Oh, duh. I'll hit, like, a thing and through the PA be like, hey, Agnir, we're doing a thing in the meeting room.
Oh, we're doing a thing? Yeah.
What is going on?
Well, I'll wait till Agnir gets here, but it's a thing you all need to know about.
What'd you say? Speak up, Randy?
Do I know where the meeting room is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's
you were in there
been
once.
Okay.
Once.
Okay. I'll head over there.
Okay. So after about 30 seconds, Agnir walks in.
Okay. Okay, so I know we have a lot going
A
on.
lot! We made a list!
So...
This is what you guys have been doing all night?
All night.
Just a list?
You're normally a very good lot. Anyway, so...
I insight check
I do... God
that?
You insight check Kazan?
Yes.
Okay,
He's
goodbye.
got really good deception, though.
Okay.
Ooh. Mine's pretty high. 23?
32.
His deception's like plus 15 or
He just
some
said he was lying, though.
So, you say that and, like, Professor lies too. I go, well, whatever.
It's killing her on the inside.
I don't need to know.
Anyway.
Just something to keep an eye out for while we're doing whatever next thing we do. I've been seeing this thing, and I take the wand and kind of point it at the monitor, and it switches to the image that I made of the eye.
It's an eye.
Do we have another thing going on now?
I don't know if this is related to the other things that are trying to kill us, but this eye I've seen it twice now, just kind of watching me, which I guess that's all it can do. It's kind of just a floating eye. I respect that, but...
Wait. Didn't you have people looking for you?
It wouldn't surprise me if there are someone back where I'm from who's maybe looking, but, who knows?
I literally heard the voice of somebody say your name
What did you hear that?
a long time ago.
What was that?
That would have been
he was
during
gone.
the thing I
The
did.
one shot.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Yep.
You were gone, and so was Avelios, and there was a weird fish man, and dinosaurs and stuff, but there was a voice that came over the speaker or something that said your full name, and then tried to grab us?
The professor has a look of like, like internally trying to, but it's showing a little bit. I'll look into it.
Are you...
Seem worried.
Yeah. Should we be worried about these people? Should we...
I don't know.
I think you told me something about it. Sounds like it was your father.
It's personal. It's a personal thing. Well,
Everything is a personal thing.
Yeah,
I'll
maybe
look
you should
in-
actually talk about these things with us so we know what's going on.
I don't know what he's saying, so...
You don't even know what his name is.
Sure I do.
The professor.
What is it?
It's a secret.
No.
It is!
It's not.
Yes, it is.
Can you tell me the letter it starts with?
M!
Insight.
Okay.
I don't know if he pulled that out of his ass or if he actually knows.
That would be a 1 in 26 chance.
I know.
That'd be pretty fucking...
But 21.
33.
Fuck.
This is ideal! Perfect.
The perfect counterpart.
Yep.
Did you actually tell him your name?
I told you guys my name when we were drunk at a festival.
You only do that with like people that you trust.
Is it not
And?
Monsieur the Professor?
Oh yeah, you weren't there. No.
You don't want to tell him?
No. Save it for another time. Anyway, not the point.
Okay. So, yes, that potentially could have been the person who is half responsible for my birth. That would not be great, but we have world-ending things to contend with.
Well, if they try to take you while we're trying to deal with the end of the world.
Well, it sounds like they already tried and they failed, so maybe it'll... And then... I'll look into it. He might...
And we also have another point of order.
Yeah?
Your friend.
Yeah. Did I not tell them about
No,
this?
you did.
You did, but like... That's the other thing that we have on the list.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing that. I know we have a Velios's thing tonight.
Maybe you should just hunker down and do that.
I want to go to
Surely.
that. I'll start right after that, but I have to take like a full 24 hours. I would explain this in Technobabble or whatever, but
Sure.
I want to go to Velios's thing, so I'll start after that, and then I'll just stay on that for a bit until we need to move on to something else. But yeah, I know I need to get on that. I think I have 3 more days to do.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything we need to do in the meantime?
Well, I have to work today. Apparently, I'm part of the security thing, so I guess people died and I should be a part of that discussion.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I also need to track down some new armor or something.
Do you need money for that or anything?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Meet back up with you later. Are you gonna go to a Velios's Q&A
What
thing
time
later?
is it? And where's it at?
6.
It was at Dal'Rok's.
Yeah.
With just the...
Did you
Basically
need me
just-
to help you with that?
No.
was this the live Q&A with everybody or just the elders?
It was the closed door.
Closed door with the elders. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you already had a thing with
Well,
the
we did with the
elders.
elders, but it's more like
Right, but this was a after the fact
Yeah.
sort of where do we go after, because that was just them seeing if they were going to respect this guy as the emperor. Now it's like, okay, well, what are our orders?
Right.
Okay. Well, if you don't need me there, I am going
That should
to
be okay.
go help with the rebuilding effort until he's done getting that connection.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I got some things I want to take care of too. So.
Okay. So basically, we can move this into long form downtime, and we'll role play your Q&A. So if you guys want to take 3 days so that the professor can finish that,
Sure.
you can help build during that time.
Yeah.
At the end of that,
And of course, whenever Alexander and Vala and everyone get here,
right
I
at the
wanna
end of this period of time, we'll go back to day by day, but then also Jordan has a surprise for you at the right around that time,
Yeah.
the 3rd day. Is there anything, Egnir, that you want to do besides talking to the Myconids and stuff?
At some point I want to try and coax this violet fungus onto my quarterstaff.
Okay. Let me see. What are the effects of violet fungus?
I didn't write them down, but they are super nasty to touch. I remember that.
Yeah. Okay. Find that information for me. Go ahead and make your relevant rolls for the days there. If you had to do it, did you have rolls for
I
that?
don't think
I
it
think
was.
it was just 24 hours of coding.
per. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's 24 straight hours.
You did have me once at least do like a
It was
some
just,
sort
it
of
was
save
to start
for a
it,
thing.
yeah. But,
Cool.
yeah. Okay, so you're going to be finished with that over the course of 3 days. You and you're done. Go ahead and roll. Let's just say strength with proficiency to kind of, and you get advantage on it.
I dropped it.
See
I
how
didn't
well
roll
we're
it.
building during this time.
Oof.
Yeah.
Terrible. Nat one.
With
So it's
advantage?
with
Hey,
advantage?
you're getting helped by a crew and him.
Still really bad. What the fuck?
Still.
12?
Okay, and he. Did
Oh, wait,
a-
with proficiency?
Yeah, strength plus proficiency.
So then that would be 17.
Yeah, Jordan got a 22. And with all the rest of the crew. So yeah, you guys have a pretty decent time of rebuilding this. You finish it over the course of the 3 days. There wasn't a ton to do. And then anything that happens during those 3 days, up to you. As far as your relationship is concerned or whatever you got going on there. Not necessarily just boning, chat. Kazan will come by whenever, if you want him to during those periods of time when you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
To hang out. You can hang out with Armadillo at night if you'd
There's
like.
other stuff I want to do too.
Yeah.
That we talked about, like the hunting lodge.
Yeah.
Seiko.
You and Seiko
Go
discussed that.
hunting with Seiko.
You and Seiko, go ahead. Are you going to try to hunt for something that affects gameplay, or just go on a hunt?
Just hunt, just like for sport,
Okay.
for fun, and then bring the food back. Of course.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. We'll each roll a survival check with advantage.
Okay.
Since you're both high-end hunters at this point.
Well, double 15s, so
Yeah,
25.
he got a 19 and an 18, so yeah.
Jesus.
You guys managed to bring back... Let me look something up for you, then. I'll go to Don John and see what kind of thing you got.
Lazy boning. Stop it.
Lazy Come on, monster list.
Have you guys seen Delocated? The Bone Zone.
The Bone Zone.
I hate you all.
You set yourself up for this. This is your fault.
I didn't expect to like Jordan, okay? I hated him the first time we met him.
Yeah, but now the situation is your fault.
So if you want to take, so what kind of biome do you want to hunt in? That's a good
What are my
question.
options?
Well, anywhere in the local area. So so it could be coastal, forest, grassland, hill, or swamp, or urban if you want to just discover what's in the city that's untamed. Up to you.
I'm gonna flip a coin. As in a
You can roll a d6.
Yeah, because I'm between two. So okay, that would be swamp.
Swamp it is. So we go to the swamp.
Sorry,
because
Agnir.
I was gonna say accidentally kills Agnir.
Agnir's just being a crocodile somewhere. He gets shot in the butt.
Okay.
Oh God.
So, are you looking for one big beast or many beasts?
Oh, big beast for sure.
One big beast. Okay. You go and you look for one big beast in the swamp, and you begin to hear tales of a very large lizard, or a swarm of lizards, and you like words. The description comes very similar to anacondas or something like that, but they're claiming that the anacondas stand up and strike in unison, and over time, you're starting to, you're camping out in the middle of the night, and you're enjoying this time, and it's only a 2-day trek, and because you're just going to the swamp east of here, and this will be after we have this discussion of the Q&A, but since no one kills you during that time,
Hopefully.
And if you'd like to, at the beginning of next session, we can roleplay this out. But the two of you find a Hydra.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. This sounds super fun.
And hunt a Hydra.
Owl on the prowl.
An owl on the prowl. So, it'd be 2 versus 1 Hydra.
Yikes.
Oof.
It's not a Kraken. Krakens are fucking
Sure.
crazy.
Yeah.
Hydras are CR8, but for 2 people at CR8, that's pretty rough. But
Well, I mean, I'm pretty powerful.
you're very you're
Seago's
both
pretty.
you're both yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'll probably be fine.
But it'll be fun.
We'll see what happens. You can always retreat.
Right.
So yeah.
But I'm never gonna be able to forget that I
Yeah.
pitched out, so.
So, that happens after the following event. You, at night, Armadillo wants to go with you, the professor wants to go with you. Alenia's like, okay, if you don't need me, you don't need me. Professor, did you want to, like, stand up there with him, or just be in the room, or?
Whatever he says, this is his
It's
thing.
up to you.
Sure.
I mean,
I mean, you're kind of just as much part of this as I am, so.
I'll be up there, but like sitting down unless anyone directly
Sure, off to the
address-
side.
Yeah, if anyone
Okay.
directly is like, "Hey,
Sure.
weren't you part of whatever?"
Armadillo's gonna come up with you and kind of, she kind of knows the social graces and whatnot for being this kind of royalty, I guess. And Avelios' theme song plays, and so you gather in. You go a little bit early, and you enjoy a little bit of food. You have some drinks, and then Dal'Rok opens the door and allows some elders in. He ushers everybody else out, including himself and the cook. And he asks who you want to be around, and Professor and Armadillo stay. Other than that, it's just the 3 of you and a group of elders. They're not just the like council of elders that you encountered last time that were very specific in representing each caste. Now it's like pretty much like 24 elders, and they kind of grab seats and around the tables, and you kind of sit up at the bar area and then stand forward. And they wait for you to speak.
Alright. That one problem with the city is taken care of, hopefully.
They all nod.
Lost a couple Praetorians, but...
The Praetorians are outside right now, guarding the room, and
Give her more.
several of them acknowledge that there seem to be less Praetorians recently, but
where do we go from here?
some of the lower, more common birds like finches and cardinals and stuff. Well, we'd like to build our homes and start to make lives for ourselves again. Many of us have family members in the southern front. We hope to address that.
I agree.
Some of the others bring up stuff like, are we going to be taxed? Like, usually they pay taxes to the crown. Is Gygax the Aarakocran home? Is just the Wedge the Aarakocran home? So stuff like that.
I will have to get with Dal'Rok. It is technically his city.
You're our emperor.
Correct. I think for now this is the best place to make our home, being as we don't really have one. And it's kind of, we can have a fresh start in a sense to build back up rather than taking over something else. Kind of like new beginnings all around. New home, new caste system. Southern Front, it's kind of an issue.
One of the Eagles stands up. We have many of our family members, as that one said, down south. We're wondering if our alliance with the elves is still strong, or if we should pull back, or if we should send more people to defend the south. What are your plans for the dragons? Are we to still destroy them? They destroyed our home.
I mean, I don't want to fight them.
You hear a rumble in the room, kind of just murmuring to one another.
Being that our home is gone, we don't have resources anymore. We have nothing. We can't sustain it. It'd be impossible.
So kind of nod and agree.
Are there any of them that are like in charge of like that kind of stuff?
The Eagles and Hawks tend to be the caste system that is part of the military.
Yeah.
But like the parrots, more of the cerebral birds tend to be the more magical nature. You're not really a military species, which is why you have the elves, because they are very militarily ordered. They're very much like Rome from that aspect, whereas you're more culturally Roman, where you have councils and you have an emperor and you have a lot of amenities and stuff. They take the more everyone is capable of fighting and using magic and strict, and so you don't see a lot of elves. Like even Egnir, even though he's part of the Golgari and not part of the Elven Empire, you still see this very reserved tone. Dal'Rok, even in his freedom where he doesn't have to, he's still very regimented. He takes a lot of notes. You know that he's martially capable. So yeah.
Well, we should probably send somebody to check in on the elves to see how our alliance is.
They have some generals down south that we could make a convoy and head down there.
Yeah.
And discuss. If you don't wish to fight the dragons, do you wish to parley?
Do we have a choice?
They look around and it seems like a mixed consensus. Some of them desire to see through what they started, because the idea of people dying in vain for a thing we quit at is pretty shitty. But also some people are like, they're tired of fighting. We've been fighting for over a year at this point, so.
It's just, I know we lost people, and now if we pull out, it looks bad. But if we continue, we can't keep it up, and then more people just die. Friends, family, it's just gonna keep happening until we stop it.
They look around and they tend to agree. Yeah. It's not a very warm feeling in the room, but it's not cold either.
It's not really a warm situation.
Yeah.
If one of you would like to lead a convoy, that would be great.
Can have preparations made within the week. And we can protect you on the way there. And from there, you'll have to maybe reach out to the dragon leadership and have a neutral site meeting.
It's gonna be interesting.
Okay. They sort of look at each other.
Speak freely if you would like.
They don't seem to be holding anything back. They're just not really used to having a dialogue. It's usually like
do the
things.
Yeah.
They don't really know how to react. Like, there's definitely, like... They're kind of pulling punches, but then they don't feel the need to punch after a certain point because you're hearing them out, and that's really nice. They don't seem to have many more concerns besides just building the town up, and one of the snow owls, an older-looking gentleman, kind of stands up and, I know everyone. Well, all of my people were disturbed by the news of that the common folk would be seen as equal. I, for one, think this is a step in the right direction, and I commend you. You're a good ibis. And I'm happy my grandchildren get to be led by you.
Thank you.
I also heard that you considered stepping down after a certain point and starting the council anew. I request you don't do so.
I'm not.
You're good. You remind me of your father in that way. Save the council for when you're old. Or don't. It's your choice. And he kind of sits down.
There's a lot more important matters than worrying about that right now anyways.
Some of the common birds stand up. We'd like to fight.
Fight what?
Anything that tries to mess this up.
We will defend this city, yes.
A lot of us want to pledge to the city. We want to be members of some sort of guard, something, anything. He kind of looks over to the higher caste system. They do all our fighting. They do all our thinking. We want to have a say.
All the Praetorians are here, right?
They're outside.
I'm gonna go get the one guy.
Okay.
The leader. And kind of have him speak to them about what his plans are.
He stands up and explains to them, like, willing to train. It's going to be hard. Some of you will fail. But, I mean, it's basically like the Navy SEALs.
So, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell my friends. A lot of us want to do this.
And if you don't make it, there's still militia and guards and security and...
Absolutely.
But no one is excluded. It's the new thing. Everybody has a chance.
At that point, pretty much everyone walks up. And each of them start pulling feathers out from their chest and start laying them at your feet before walking out. And you get a multicolored, basically, pile of feathers, about 24 of them, as people file out. And this, of course, is a pledge of service. And that's the end of that.
That went well.
Yeah.
You seem to have won them over over a course of several talks. You probably won't have to do another one of these unless you want to.
Yeah. So we should probably prep for that security detail and within the week then get everybody to go with us.
Security detail. What do you mean specifically?
The convoy to
Oh,
the
yeah.
southern front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You, me, obviously Alenia.
Sure.
Other people want to go, maybe.
Sure.
Depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. So, after that, you go your separate ways for a few days. Y'all fight a Hydra. And bring it back, or don't. We'll see. We can roll that out if you want. Are you hanging out tonight?
Maybe.
Well, we can play that if you want later. off stream. So anything anybody wanted to do over the next 3 days that we didn't mention? Agner, you do get to mess with that plant.
Yeah.
And you do have the, so we'll talk about that plant first. So in the middle of the night, on the next day, as you're meditating, your meditation gets interrupted by a bright blue light that springs forth from the flower as it spirals open and blooms. And in the center, it's got what looks like this blue jelly that has been secreted out of the kind of the nectar giving organ that's inside the center of flowers. I can't think of the name of.
Stamen?
Is it the stamen? The stamen's tall, right?
I don't know.
It's around.
I don't think it has to be tall. It's just
stamen
usually in
and
the
a
middle.
pestle or
I don't know what it
something
is.
like
It's one of the things. Doesn't matter.
I'm not a flower doctor.
And so if you'd like to gather some of this, it'll take a nature check, and that'll determine how well you gather it. Up to 3 vials worth.
13.
13. You were able to get 1 vial. And it does have immediate magical qualities. Do you have the identify spell?
I don't, but I would go get the professor
Okay.
once.
You can easily go get the professor.
Sure.
And you take a little bit of time to run identify on it.
Mhm.
And as you do, it grants you true sight for 8 hours,
Neat.
which is much longer than others. And this will bloom monthly, so 1 month from today, which I think is 40 days. Yeah. So in 40 days, it will grant you another opportunity to gather this. And when you take it, you can see out to a distance of 120 feet, literally anything.
Invisibility.
Invisibility, greater invisibility.
You can see through changeling.
You can see through changelings. You can see
Any illusion.
any illusion. Yeah, it's pretty strong, and the fact that it lasts for 8 hours is stronger than the spell. Yeah, it's pretty potent stuff. And you think if you had enough time and you dosed regularly, like you hoarded them and dosed regularly, you could change your chemistry to give you true sight.
That's badass.
But you don't know how long that would take. It just,
Right.
but you have the flower,
Okay.
so you can use it anytime you decide to need it. It's the same as any other potion, and it just slides down like Gogurt, and or those Jello things Gogurt used to make. Do you remember it was like Jello in a tube?
Gogurt, so
Yeah,
Those
but
are
Jello
gross.
in a tube. It
Yeah.
was worse.
That's
It was
even worse.
Or was it those squeezy bottles that had Jello in them? Is that what I'm thinking?
I
of?
think it was a
Animals?
squeezy.
No, not
I think it
Danimals.
was a squeezy bottle.
There's a squeezy bottle with Jello. in it,
Yeah.
and you went.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep. That was a thing.
Someone make a gif out of that, please.
Yeah, no.
He's shameless. He makes it no fun. God damn it.
That's why he does it.
Yeah.
I care zero.
He'll retweet it as soon as it pops up on his
Yeah.
feed.
Yep. What good is shame?
I mean,
Yeah, I know. There is no use for it. So,
Humor.
if you go too far, then you wind up swimming in a shit sewer. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
A certain amount of shame is good.
is
and
that
it's healthy.
shame? That's just because I'm grossed out. I don't think, what will the people think of me? I think, I don't want to be covered in shit. So is there anything else we want to take care of before we... it seems like a short session here, but...
Just also working on that violet fungus.
Ah, yes. What were the qualities of violet fungus?
So, the one in 5th edition, it makes 1d4 attacks. The attacks do 1d8 necrotic damage.
Okay. And that's... So it does 1d4 attacks.
Yeah, so you roll a d4, and then it's how many on the d4, how many attacks get 1d8.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a nature check. You have proficiency in nature, right?
Yeah, but my intelligence sucks.
Go ahead and roll it with advantage then. And we'll see if you find a way to incorporate that.
16?
16, sure. Yeah. So you can use that instead of the other quality on your staff. Of course, it has to be touched, so it has to be a melee attack. And you can add it there, but you have to opt into one or the other. And then it'll last for 1d4 rounds.
Okay.
Dealio?
Sounds good. I will switch to that then.
Okay. Yeah, it's opt-in, so anytime you make an attack, you can choose which one.
Oh, gotcha.
But
Okay.
if you start the violet one, it only has the effect for 1d4 rounds. And that's
Okay.
it does that once a day. Make sense?
Gotcha. Yep.
Okay.
I want to know the surprise.
You want to know the surprise?
Next Sunday
It
on
comes-
Charisma
It
Saves.
comes out next Sunday during Christmas saves.
Oh.
During that time, at the end of the day 3, you think you finally cracked the code. And you realize, as you look at it, there's no possible way the Hartnell can make that in a one-way trip. It has to make a stop. And you
Okay.
have to choose where it stops. Go and roll me an intelligence check with proficiency.
22.
As you're charting the course, you look at it and you bring out your planar
So I
map
can upload my stuff.
Yeah.
where you have the outer planes, the positive planes, negative planes, outer planes, astral plane, and then the lower planes, higher planes, elemental planes, Feywild, Shadowfell, material plane in the center.
Okay, yeah.
You look at it. You're not going to have enough power to get to the astral plane. You're going to need to stop in preferably the furthest plane away that has an easy exit and easy entrance. And you're going to have to get power at one of those places.
Okay.
And the one you land on, the one that makes the most sense, is the Abyss.
Okay.
And the Abyss is where demons come from.
No.
Yeah, sorry, Icilius, you're fucked.
No.
So, the
Would I be
path
able
to
to-
saving Icilius is as follows. According to your best math and the power that the current Hartnell has,
I'm retiring.
you have to get to an
I'm a
you
big
have to get
target
to
there,
an
so.
exterior plane, and then you have to get to the furthest outside plane, which is the astral plane, and you have to basically piggyback. So you have to go material plane into the Abyss, find a power source, recharge the Hartnell, get to the astral plane, which is on the outside of it, the far realms, basically.
So material to the Abyss, and then the Abyss find power so we can make it all the way to
The astral plane.
Okay.
After you get to the astral plane, Icilius, another power source,
Okay.
Abyss,
Oh god.
material plane. That is your pathway to Icilius.
Abyss twice.
Did you know that some demons will rank up if they turn in if they kill or
Yeah.
enslave a celestial?
Did you know we have a celestial?
So we
you
have
can-
a bargaining chip, is what I've
You
heard.
can do that. You can do that at any point. You don't know what potential power source
I could have to go to the Abyss twice.
you could use, but you
So
do
you'd be super
know,
pissed
of
the second
course, that any high ranking magical thing would do it.
The god of suffering doesn't come from the abyss. He's in the 9 hells, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's 6. The god of suffering.
There was no one in the abyss that we had to go find, was there?
The Abyss. Okay, so the Abyss is run by demons, and demons fight devils, and devils come from the 9 hells, and they argue over souls. The Abyss is where they make the opposite of you.
Tieflings.
The Abyss is... So mistake demons are tieflings and they're sent to the material plane. Sometimes they're on purpose, so that they can have a soul that can... So, because demons can't necessarily exist on the material plane. They have to either infect someone through... Are you okay?
Yeah.
Don't die. Very embarrassing if just a body went... This is supposed to be fun, okay?
It would be exciting and get views.
Maybe. It would definitely go viral. That person...
That's probably the most worthwhile death I can expect.
Viral death.
Race the... You know.
So, sometimes tieflings are sent as agents of the Abyss. Sometimes they're just mistakes, but they need to be housed in a humanoid body that is not immortal, and much like where Celestials can't just walk around the material plane. They can visit for short periods of time, but unless they're an ASMR, they can't just exist here. Otherwise, they fucking would. So this is basically the opposite of Elysium. It's basically spoken of, and you have plenty of books on this, and just with Elenia's help over the course of the days, you can talk about it. It's shaped like a spiral, and it spirals downward, kind of like a bugle. And
Abyssal.
And what?
It's a good thing I know Abyssal.
And you do know Abyssal, and so there are many demons, and just so go ahead and the two of you roll me history checks, not with advantage, just together.
Oh, nice. 28.
28.
Hey, that's really good. 27.
Okay.
I think. Wait, no. 25. Might be. I'm bad at math. I'm looking at the wrong number.
Well, then you're going to get a little more information on the Abyss then. So, there are tales of abyssal corruption. So spending time in the Abyss, long periods of time, or extended periods of time, not necessarily long, can start to fuck with you. So the idea is snatch and grab. You want to get in, get out as fast as possible. Second of all, it has many layers and levels, and you don't necessarily know which ones you're going to land on. So they have many a demon, and the major demons that they have here are Baphomet.
Can you spell that? Sorry.
Baphomet, just like normal.
Oh, just like normal.
Yeah.
I'll just Google it. Okay.
Demogorgon.
B-A-P-H.
Oh.
Oh, good. Oh, great.
Fraz Erblu.
When they have names like that, you know they're fucking strong.
Fraz Erblu.
Erblu.
Fraz.
Grozit.
Oh.
Grozit.
Juiblex.
Nah. Yeah, I'm good.
Orcus.
Yeah, see me.
Oh, no. Not Orcus.
Yeah.
Yinagu.
Oh god. None of these are
Hey,
going to be
all
spelled
of
right in
these-
my notes.
It doesn't matter.
All
And
these
and
people.
one that Egnir knows, the demon queen of fungi herself, the lady of rotten decay, Zugtmuni.
Just want to put this in.
Hey, you should look up the stats for Orcus. I just want you to...
They're all
Yeah, those are all like CR what?
Can you say the lady
CR
of Decay's name
23?
again?
Orcus is 26. Zugtmuni.
Yeah, Orcus is
You don't
literally
necessarily-
like the big bad.
You don't necessarily have to.
He's the king of fiends.
You don't necessarily have to encounter these. I'm just saying these are here.
Yeah.
These are where these are housed. These are legendary demons of yore. So,
No, thank you.
So, hear me out. Plane
fungi
shift.
goddess.
What'd you say?
Plane shift.
So we don't take the heart null and we just...
Straight to the astral plane.
That's not how it works in my game, but yeah,
Fuck.
because it's an outer rim plane.
Aw.
You're already using plane shift to get to that point, and the idea is the Hartnell is a safe place within those. If you wanted to plane shift without the safety of the Hartnell, you could go boom, boom, but
Gotcha.
you would need something to navigate into the astral space, because the astral plane specifically lies outside of these realms. You need something to navigate through. But you could easily plane shift into
As an at-will.
any of
with a
these
weapon.
places as long as you have an anchor to one of those places.
Gotcha.
Once you've been to a plane, you can plane shift wherever.
Gotcha.
So, or if you have, again, an anchor to one of those places. So, say if one of you were a tiefling, you would have an anchor to the abyss.
Okay, so I guess we just trade Alenia for safe passage.
Fuck you.
I mean...
I'm a minor celestial. I'm not worth that
The
much.
astral plane is much harder, and the far realms are even harder than that. The far realms are where things like the astral dreadnought live. And it floats around this space in between space and time, eating things that it can get its hands on and consuming them.
Wait.
The astral plane is sort of like a plane outside of planes that allows things. Your people dealt a lot in the astral plane. It's kind of the.
You said that's where we ran into the Gith, right? At some point.
It's think of it like a jet stream for travel amongst the planes.
Okay.
Once you get to that, you can circle around it.
Oh, that. Okay, yeah.
And then you can go to any plane
That
much
cosmology
easier.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's used a lot, but that's where the Gith come into play. But that is
disguises.
But that is where Icilius is. So
Yeah, you're dead. Sorry, bud.
you can do that whenever you want.
Agner's
The search for
cooler anyway.
Icilius will take several sessions, but would be worth it to have 5 heroes in your party rather than 4. Because at a certain point, everybody else caps out and the heroes don't.
How is Randall possibly going to play 2 very mute characters?
I don't know how he's going to muster that
bind-
The
amount of
world will
acting.
never know.
Agner talks a lot more, so that's cool. Anyway, so is there anything else we need to do? Because next session might be, depending on what you guys want to do, is next session, let's just talk about it now so people know what to expect. What do you guys want to do? Have a discussion amongst yourselves about where we're headed so I can prep properly. If you guys want to go on the hunt for Icilius, that's a whole thing. If you guys want to
I
go
don't think we're
parlay
ready
with the
for that
dragons, that's a whole thing. You also have a...
a little more feasible. I'm not gonna lie.
Are we gonna do the Hydra fight on stream or no? You wanna just roll it?
Would you like to, or would you...
It's up to you. I don't mind either way.
We can do it tonight after we shut off stream, or just you and I can be on a stream and do a Hydra fight on Roll20 or something. It'd be fun.
Only other things I'm worried about are
Or we could do it here, and I could just put the battle.
Vala and Alexander, and then whatever that surprise is. I mean, that's all.
Yeah,
my
which will
plans,
happen.
So.
Those will all happen. I just,
Yeah.
what do you guys want to do?
Parlay with the dragon.
I think dragons is probably.
Parlay dragons and okay.
I think if we get the dragons to stop fighting,
It'll give us
In
a
the
little bit of
meantime-
breathing room.
yeah, so we can
Yeah.
figure out, and we might get allies.
Yeah.
Maybe if we are lucky.
At
to
the very
help
least,
us.
we'll hopefully have fewer enemies,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is at least a.
So next week, Alexander Vala return. There will be a special surprise from Jordan to Alanya. And then you guys will skip forward a little bit in time. After some downtime, you can prepare. And if you guys want to do some extra stuff in between as far as downtime activities, let me know. And then you will head down south and parlay with dragons.
Guess I should paint that dragon money just in case.
Blue, please.
Yep.
She's the one you're most likely to fight, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
I don't want to fight an ancient dragon.
Well, you
We're
don't
not
have to.
That strong.
You can also avoid the south and go head to Icilius or do
she
something
was
totally
pretty okay last time we talked.
else. She gave you 24 hours to leave. and
Yeah,
then she started
she's
to hunt you.
not terrible.
Before she started to hunt us. Keyword hunt us.
She never found us, so.
Yeah, and now we're just going to.
But there are other dragons, so maybe it won't be that bad.
So,
We'll find out.
Wait,
we will
week-
find
wait,
out.
that
Christmas
silver
Day.
dragon thinks I'm dead. Oh god!
The what dragon?
The silver
silver-
dragon thinks
It's not an
I'm
ancient
dead.
silver dragon. It was
Okay, good.
It was a young silver dragon.
Oh.
It was a CR9 silver dragon.
Well,
That's-
if we see him, he'll be like, "Aren't you supposed to be dead?"
They're like, we got our.
Maybe.
We can just.
I
use...
could come up with something.
We resurrected you.
Anyway,
That's a thing that
Did the
exists.
baby survive? No.
No.
so next time on Charisma
Our friend
Saves,
shot the baby.
these fuckers are going to try their best to not die to dragons, probably.
We're dying to dragons.
Okay, so
Good thing I'm immune to
on the
fire,
series
at
finale
least.
of Charisma Saints, we'll see that next week. So,
Better than dying in a sewer. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I love you guys deeply. There's no way I'm ever gonna get sponsored by Reese's anyway. Go try Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers. Holy shit, it's so
7-Eleven.
good. By the way, this is about how much sweets I eat. I had 3 bites.
How
Were
the
they,
fuck?
No, I just how it worked. So, have a wonderful night. I love you deeply.
7-Eleven.
And we're playing on Sunday.
Yes.
Normal time, 6:30. Alrighty. I love you guys. Have a good night.